Introducing Pubcoin. Pubcoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into Pubcoins. Pubcoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
From down south, where we ride on slabs. From down south, where we ride on slabs. From down south, where we ride on slabs. From down south, where we ride on slabs.
Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, making bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H. I stack green like Boston, shout out to Nasty Nate. From down south, where we ride on slab. 420 highway smoking with that boy Gabby Cap. Fly out to Denver for the Nugget fans so we can smoke out J Money, cause you know that's our mans. Us against the bookies, put money in our pockets. Fly out to Vegas, meet up with Ski Crockett. Hit the sports books, we got money to stack. Can't forget them college picks with that boy Connor Mack. Call up Dutch boy, cause you know we stay fresh. What's the strain of the day, homie? Watch the daily sesh. Roll up a paper plane, light up a Sparky. If I need a strikeout prop, we gon' holler at Sharpie. Cross over to the West Coast and holler at Fam. If we talking NBA, I got to hit Trot Wham. Always tapping in, money's what we trust. If I need a team total, gotta hit Nut Plus, cause I'm fishing for bait. Smoking straight to the chest. Gotta fly out to the Beta, homie, Moose Money Bets. From Brooks to West, cash checks what we do. Cause I'm hoop banging with Boss and the OG Ragu. If we need it under, I gotta hit Noli Knowles. If I land on my prop, I gotta holler Big Show. Now we back to the East Coast for Nicky Fish Tanks. We watching UFC, keeping money in the bank. Die Hard and Danny Betts and the whole damn crew. Nick's the only guy I know can drink a brew or buy his shoe, but hey, that's what he do. It is what it is. I can't forget that Jersey boy, that homie Billy Briz. If I need an ice pick, I go to Ontario, holler my ice guy, Ian Bobano. And if I need some advice in trying to cash, tune into Peter Loshak and Jimmy the Bad. And hit that like button, make sure that you smash it. The famous words of razor sharp picks, cash it. I'm on my poker shit, stacking my chips. If we ever lose a bet, man, we never gon' trip. Cause I'm Mike Knight M, pimp slap player of the day. Ron Crawford spreadsheet, what more can you say? It's how we stay paid each and every day. Can't forget about the producer, say hey Jose. Tell your mother, your father, your son, and your daughter, cause nothing's going down without the Don Jeff Slaughter. All you low baggers, hold it down in the chat. If you missed all that, the remix will be back. Yeah.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, October 9th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Right off the hop, we begin with our friend Gerald Jones. Happy birthday, Gerald Jones. What wonderful news. His father, stable after brain aneurysm surgery, called him in the morning and wished you a happy birthday. It makes it extremely special. What a day you're going to have ahead of you. So much positive energy for you, Gerald. And what a wonderful call to receive from your dad. So that's a wonderful way for us to start the show. Shout out to Gerald Jones. Yes, a birthday pick. Absolutely. I think I have it, but probably okay. I think I have it. It's the New York Rangers first period. Rangers first period. I mean, we watched what the Kings were a debacle What'd they do first period? They won 2-0. We cashed plus 140. The Rangers were a complete debacle. Get out of New York. Well, go up to upstate New York. Get out of New York City. Go up to Buffalo. Take the pressure off and play some good hockey for 20 minutes. New York Rangers first period, Gerald. And if there's something that I like even more than that, I'll hit you on X. But Gerald Jones' birthday pick is, at this point, the Rangers first period. And shout out to Gerald Jones. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. We got Stacks, Playday number 1. Teoscar Hernandez over 1.5 bases at plus 110. And Scatabo, anytime touchdown. Can't wait for Thursday Night Football live stream right here on Pub Sports Radio. Let's get this all copied and pasted here. Records are up. Records are up for every sport. It's taking me hours. I was only behind like 4 weeks or so, but good God, is it up taking time. So records are all up for every sport and for every capper today. We have Toby Lane on the Blackhawks money line and Croatia, Czech Republic, both teams to score. And let's get all of this copied and pasted here. Talk sports with JT action in. AJ Brown under 65.5 receiving yards. Scatabo anytime touchdown and over 48.5 rush yards. And Buffalo money line minus 107 and Chicago team total under 2.5 minus 109. So we're heads up. I'm you know me. I after a team is embarrassed in the first game with their new coach, I almost always back them next. So but nothing wrong with being on the other side of each other. It's just part of the game here. Gorky on Philadelphia to win by 11 plus and EuroLeague action here. Let's get this all copied and pasted. And we need to get right into work here because we've got to be very quick. We have a massive NHL card. It's Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend. There's no games. I don't know if that's why there's no games on Friday, but there are no games on Friday. So we've got to work really quickly. We're going to get through the NHL card with Bobano. We're going to hear best bets in the Canadian Football League, and then we're going to talk Thursday Night Football. That's Bobano's section. Then Morgan Spooner joins us for MLB, and then Jose and I are going to cap. Well, I've capped all the games. We're going to break down the 4 college football games to close up the show. Tone Miggins, Phillies to win the World Series of plus 900. So much exciting action coming from the chat, and I will copy and paste it. And Mr. Tomato says Aces was way too easy. Winning shot with 0.4 seconds left. I'm glad you cashed it though, Mr. Tomatoes. If that's easy, what's hard? Let's bring on your next guest, the star of Thursdays here, star of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel and the Ice Guys. Please welcome our guy, Mr. Ian Cameron, to the show. Bobano, how are you?
There we go. Get my microphone on. Good to be with you. And shout out to everyone in this country, north of the border. A lot of happy friends of mine, Blue Jays fans, cheering them on last night. On to the ALCS they go. Yes, 2015, 2016, not long ago. The big difference here this year is I don't have futures on them. And I did in 2015 and 20. Do you have futures on the Jays? I did. I jumped on when they were starting to, in late July, after they had really taken it to the Yankees twice at Rogers Center. That's when I said, you know what, maybe there's something there. And so I do have an ALCS and World Series ticket at, I got to check what the price is. Hold on one sec here. Got to be massive. Count. But yes, we are on it. And you know, it's funny. We're on the Brewers too. So nice. When did you get the Brewers? Let me just, I'm going to bring this up right now. Okay, here we go. We got the Jays to win the AL at 12-1. 28-1 for the World Series. That's great. Milwaukee, you know, Milwaukee was already starting to be on a tear, so the prices aren't great with Milwaukee. Plus 450 NL, plus 800 World Series. Yeah, I moved on July 10th with the Brewers. They're my only futures left. I got 35-1 for the World Series, 17-1 for the NL. They're my only future bets were on the Blues. I have 500 on the over win total. 400 on the division, 400 on the NL, and 400 on the World Series. So it works out to about 27K, which obviously I don't expect at all. You know, it feels more like a lottery ticket. I do like that the Phillies are giving the Dodgers a little bit of business, because I've been trying to figure out, you know, what kind of hedging situation will I have to deliver.
because I do want to guarantee more money. The interesting thing about the hedging, though, is that I can't send in my futures till the end of the season. So I haven't even sent in the division or the season win total. So it feels like even that is a hedge, even though it shouldn't. But it feels like there's money coming in regardless. We got Julian Cesario in the house, Serious Business, Justin McKelvey, Sancho, Ron Young, Steve G, Kyle Fields, MMA Mad Hatter, currently our leader in NFL, in our Pub Hub NFL Cappers contest. Great to see all you guys. We got Sharpie in the house. Sharpie, great to see you. The Nuke Worker, Irish King, Ronnie Lofton, Steve D, Gerald Jones, Chappie Funk, now a silver member of Pub Sports Radio, which means you get to rock in the Discord with us, which is great. Timothy Hake, Johnny Redbeard in the house, tailed that Kings first period last night. I'm moving on a couple more first periods, but the Rangers is the one that I like the most. Big Daddy Boom, Ronnie Lofton, Irish King cashing Edmonton first period -half. I'm glad you did because I lost and suffered through that. I'm on the -1, so I suffered through the 8 round shootout. Now, I didn't feel gypped off. I felt it was fine because the Flames had hit 2 posts before Kapanen hit the post. So I didn't, although when Kapanen took that shot, I thought he'd scored until I saw his reaction. Of course, his reaction here. Great to see all of you guys. Look at International Brown. Stop all that trash rap and get to some picks. You sound fun, sir. Occupancy 9 Legacy in the house. Let's get this all copied and pasted. Now, let's get to work. I'll continue copying and pasting the action, but we got to get to work. We got to move through this NHL very quickly, and it's not going to be easy, but it's easier.
You will. I've made a point of it. I've got to be done by 1, so I'm going to be very brief. With my insight.
It's easier because we don't have a lot of statistical analysis to talk about. So it's much, much easier. So let's get right to work. I'm going to keep copying and pasting all of this action here in the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If I haven't given you a shout out, I wish I could have. Nordy, Lucas, Ryan, Andrew G, Don Play, Nasty Nate coming off a monster day. And then sports scientist Jacob in the house. Great to see all of you guys. So let's get right to work here. So we start with the Chicago Blackhawks at Boston Bruins, TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. I like watching the Blackhawks a lot. I'm very curious if Nazar, is worth this big investment. I imagine that he is. Of course, Bedard is from the community I grew up in. So I watch him pretty closely, and a lot of people have been disappointed with him. I'm interested to see Colton Dock and Burakovsky on that first line. You have Bertuzzi and Teravainen on the second line. They've already moved Donato off that first line, which makes me uncomfortable. I picked him very late in the hockey pool. This defense looks very weak, very, very, very weak. And we talked about yesterday. I talked about how different this Bruins team is with 2 healthy star defensemen, and it's a big difference. I know McAvoy played half the year, but now Hampus Lindholm didn't play at all. I mean, played 3 or 4 games last year. And I said this Bruins team is going to have a huge amount of trouble scoring. So we cashed the under yesterday. I want to back unders in all Bruins games, but I don't want to back unders with the Chicago Blackhawks. But that's a mistake. The Blackhawks cashed a ton of unders last year, and I lost on overs with them. And Bobano bets more overs than I do. I'm more of an underbacker. I don't have the line history up here right now. Oh, there we go. I don't have it up here for some reason. So I'm interested in this under, but I don't know if I pulled the trigger. Of course, the Bruins on the second half of a back-to-back after taking care of business against the Capitals last night. Take it away for us, Bobano, Blackhawks, Bruins.
Yeah, I think when you look at this game, I don't trust Boston. I know they won last night. It was one of these deals where Washington carried the play for a good amount of that game. They just couldn't find the back of the net. Swayman was very good. And I said this on a preview show that Swayman now with a full training camp this year, which he did not have last year when he was holding out with his contract issue, could be ready to have a good start. And he wants to prove himself for the U.S. Olympic team, I'm pretty sure, as well, and be part of that. So he played excellent last night for Boston. But now tonight you're going to get Jonas Korpisalo. He did not play great in extended opportunity last year with the Bruins. Arvid Soderblom looks like he's going to start for Chicago. I was thinking it was going to be Spencer Knight, but Soderblom in that. Here's the thing with Soderblom. I was not a fan of his early in his career. I thought he got better last year. I thought there were games he played very well. Now, there's a little bit of variance in his play, kind of erratic up and down, but he played very well. I think there's a lot to like about Chicago's effort against Florida, even though they lost. Frank Nazar was great. Bedard looked good. Even though the run of play went against them, Florida carried it. They were in that game, and they were competitive against the Panthers. Now they have the rest advantage. Now they have Boston on a back-to-back. I'm going to take a shot here, Jimmy, and I'm making it official. Chicago money line. I think they're live in this game, and I think this price is way too inflated on a back-to-back with a below-average Boston team. So give me Chicago plus 150.
We have the Blackhawks at plus 150. Let's just quickly review the line history here. The Blackhawks opened up at plus 125, and they're now at plus 1. Oh, the plus 125 was a look ahead. But when it came out again on the 3rd, on Friday night, it was a plus 124. It's gone up to plus 149. So it is moving in the Bruins' direction. See, I think the Bruins are a very accountable hockey team, a very predictable hockey team. I feel like we saw that last night. The issue is a lot of my friends and I are certain that Swayman has a monster bounce back season. Of course, he's not in between the pipes this evening, which is.
I also like Chicago team total over, but I'm not going to double up. I've got a bet on that. I'm just going to go with the money line though for the show.
This total is a 5.5 juiced to the over. It's taking a 10-cent move towards the over. Yeah, Will Johnson, I was thinking of you, man. Excellent work. Absolutely excellent work on Vegas. Looked very easy until late. It cost me quite a bit of money, but I did get.
I hate to tell you this, Will. I mean, beware of betting the Oilers in October. They suck in October, and this is every single year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it looked like 3-0. It looked like they were just
loss
in business.
Can't lose that game. But
so we have Bobano on the Blackhawks at plus 150. And we have Fat Bap win in the house, little Saturday Australian racing. Thank you for sharing that with us, my friend. That is wonderful. And keep an eye on Fat Bap's action, horse racing action. It is very strong. Okay, we roll on. As much as I have interest in the under, I'm pretty certain I don't get there. I've made 5 bets, and there's about 3 or 4 more I expect to make. We roll on. This is what I think is the best bet on the board here, and it is the New York Rangers. Rangers at Buffalo Sabres, KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. Everybody wants off, and you guys know that means that I generally want on. And, psychologically, get out of New York City. Get away from all the bad press. This total opened up at 6.5. It's 6.5, but it was heavily juiced to the under minus 130. Now it's a 6 minus 118 to the over. I don't even know if that's a quarter of a goal move. From a money line perspective here, we have the Rangers at minus 110. They opened up at minus 115. They got up to minus 120. There's been a bit of buyback. Overall, 6 cents of movement towards the Sabres from plus 102 to minus 104. And the Sabres are dealing with a bunch of injury issues to start the year. And I think Kevin Adams has done a really terrible job building this forward group. I think the defense is going to be very good, but we know Owen Power out as well. I just love when everybody gives up on a hockey team like they've already done with the Rangers. Josh Norris is healthy right now.
Rangers season over after 0-1. That was a horrible game though. Let's not sugarcoat it though. That was
I want it to be
terrible game by the Rangers. Awful.
I find that it makes it way more appealing. I don't want, I wouldn't be on them if they won. Josh Norris though, he can be a top 6 forward. We know that. It's just he only plays 20 games a year. He's a China doll. He breaks down. So I don't know how he can be backed. Look, the Sabres have a phenomenal defensive group, but I love the bounce back opportunity for the New York Rangers. First period, full game. I got the first period minus 107, the full game minus 111. Take it away, Bobano.
You know what? I lean Rangers too, but gosh, that was That was really bad. I mean, I want to see another game before I get, but maybe tonight they just, take it to a Buffalo team that, in theory, on paper, they're still better than Buffalo. But gosh, that was a horrific performance against Pittsburgh on home ice in your home opener. Pittsburgh team that's not expected to have great things this year. That was really, really alarming to see that. So I'm a little bit gun shy of taking the Rangers here, even though this is a spot that I don't want Buffalo. I know that. It's a team I've got to see it from them. They've got some injuries on defense, so. I lean Rangers. Not going to go with it, though, officially. Just got to see another game. I want to see if they get it out of their system because everything looks so disjointed. But what I will believe in with the Rangers is that when you get shut out at home by a kind of a Pittsburgh team that's not expected to do great things, you got to think the offense becomes the focal point here. You got to get some offense going. You got to generate more chances. This is the shutout angle, which was so good last year. We introduced it on this show last year. Teams off a shutout, bet the over by Facta, which is first period over and full game over. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. And Buffalo last year was an over machine at home. I think they'll chip in some offense. I think the Rangers will have a bounce back offensive game. So the system play, a team off a shutout loss, first period over, full game over. It was a good system most of last year. We'll test it out right here. Rangers Sabres over 1.5, minus 125 first period, and Rangers Sabres over 6, minus 120 for the full game.
Over 6 at minus 120. It's Alex Lyon who's going to be in net tonight. He's not fully confirmed, but everybody expects that. Luokanen's hurt, so Shesty is confirmed for the New York Rangers. Let's roll on. So at this point, it's my only double up in NHL, and I'm going to start doubling up. I've doubled up on 2 spots through the first 2 games. Lost them both, so I'm sitting here 3-6. Even if I had just pushed with the Oilers, it would have helped a lot last night. 3-6, down 3.55 units. It's not been a very good start. But the 2 spots that I was saying to you guys, I would double up if it was later in the year, and I didn't. I cashed the one, but I would have cashed both. So I'm going to start doubling up and not be too scared of it. Let's roll on to Canadiens, Detroit Red Wings. I'm looking forward to watch this Red Wings team. By the way, I was very wrong about Kyle Connor signing with the Red Wings in the offseason. They brought out the Brinks truck and paid him a lot of money, and he is staying in Winnipeg, and I was certain he was going home to Michigan. It's crazy how you can be so certain about certain things. I'm sure that has upset Steve Yzerman's plan. John Gibson confirmed for the Red Wings. So here we go again. Now, we've seen goaltenders step up late in their career. When 35 years old, 36 years old, we've seen them rise to the occasion after a move. I'm not going to sit here and expect it from Gibson. He's not looked good for a long time, but he's capable of it. Jacob Dobas on the other side for the Habs. And this is the same thing for me here. I want the Montreal Canadiens first period. I got them at plus 110. I think they're going to jump out of their skates. They're coming off of a loss in Toronto. They're not happy about it. They come down to Detroit, a little short trip down to Detroit, and I think they jump out of their skates in the first period. And we watch some of these teams at home take a little while to get going. I mean, even the Avalanche.
Vegas last night when LA had the game under their belt. Same thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm right there with you. So I'm on the Canadiens first period plus 110. Bobano, take it away.
Yeah, I was going to go with Montreal. I already had Montreal first period and full game here. I don't want to double up with this game. I think first period is the stronger look. I do. So I will go with that, just the first period here. I'm on the full game too, but I'm not going to double up here. Actually, you know what? I will. What the hell? Fuck it. As our good friend Lee Corso said on the College Game Day a long time ago. Fuck it. When he chucked the thing away and changed his pick. That's a legendary moment on television. Yeah, I'll do Montreal first period and full game. I like Jakob Dobas. Jakob Dobas is a bet on goalie, in my opinion. You know how good that guy played last year for Montreal, especially on the road? I have no qualms about backing Montreal. It's the travel from Toronto to Detroit's not strenuous. I like that they've got a game under their belt. Now, John Gibson, I expect, could be the best goalie Detroit's had in a while, but older goalie coming off injuries, new surroundings. I got to see it in the first game. I don't know if he's going to be on top of his game right away, but I like Montreal here and a bounce back here, and I'll go with both first period and full game. So first period money line is plus 110. Full game money line here is plus 120.
You are in the business. Habs double up for Ian Cameron. We roll on 7 p.m. Eastern. Ottawa Senators at Tampa Bay Lightning. Benchmark International Arena is the new name of the facility. We're in Tampa, Florida for this one. I wanted to move on Tampa, and I just couldn't get there. I expect Hagel to play. I thought maybe it'd be best to talk it out, but I don't think Ottawa's a fade at all. They're a deep team that's going to be tough to beat, and I think Sanderson is a top 5 defenseman. This line opened up at minus 155. It's now minus 164, but it got as high as minus 170. I think it's a very fair price for the -1 on the Lightning. I know it's a tough barn to play in, and I want to back them because of a vividness bias, not necessarily because I think they're going to, jump out of their skates here. This total opened up at 6.5, heavily juiced to the under. Now it's a 6, slightly juiced to the over. So it is moving towards the under. And for goalies here, as expected, sorry, let me move over here. As expected, Vasilevsky will be in net against Yolmark. Take it away, Bobano.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be involved in this game. I actually lean the other way with Ottawa a bit. Tampa Bay, couple injuries coming out of preseason and training camp, Hagel included. Hedman was a little bit banged up in training camp as well. Are these guys going to be, at their best, tip top? Are they going to play, and B, are they going to be at their best here right away? Ottawa's a team that in this road dog role, I expect to be backing them a handful of times this year. The only question is, do I want to do it first game of the year? And I'm not so sure about that. But so I just left it alone. I will say this, Tampa did win the 2 games in Tampa last year against Ottawa, and I did take notice of that. So I lean Ottawa. I probably will have a small bet. I'm high volume, as you know. I'll probably dabble in it, but it's not best bet material, and for that reason, it will not be a show play, so pass.
Yeah. I just don't. I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to do the exact same.
Mel, you've got to stop talking like I hate the Avs. I don't hate the Colorado Avalanche. Where's that nonsense coming from?
She's a proud Avalanche supporter. They're my only future.
I bet Colorado against L.A.
You did? Yes, you
did.
Nights
ago.
Yes, you did. Let's roll on to next spot on the board.
Yeah.
Flyers, Panthers here, Emirates Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida. So I liken the accountability of the Florida Panthers without Tkachuk and Barkov to the Boston Bruins. I think we're going to get accountable hockey. They hear all of everybody saying they're not good enough with this roster, and they want to prove people wrong. And for those of you who have followed Rick Tocchet around, when Rick Tocchet came over to coach the Canucks, he was replacing Gabby Boudreau. Gabby is a player's coach. People love him. He changed the energy in the room, and it was desperately needed. But he doesn't force accountability in the realm of showing up at training camp in the best shape you can possibly be in. And Rick Tocchet runs a tight ship, an extremely tight ship. So when Rick Tocchet came over to the Vancouver Canucks, let's get this up here. Maybe I don't have it here anymore. I guess I ditched it. But when he came over to the Vancouver Canucks, we lost twice in regulation in our first 13 games. He strikes fear in everybody, and he strikes it before he lets everybody know what shape they have to be in when they get to camp. So I want to back. Thank you, Gorky. Jose's I'm not sure if he is double shifting now, but I'll focus on getting the banner changed in a second. But here, I want to back the Philadelphia Flyers in the first 10 or 15 games of the season. And I want to start now. But it's never comfortable fading the Panthers in Florida without, even despite not having Barkov, or Tkachuk. So what I've decided to do, and I just wanted to talk this out because it's an investment, and it's, when you put your money on the line, there's you need to succeed. It's not just a fun pick. So I'm going to be on the Philadelphia Flyers. and I want to talk it out first because it's a 2-unit spot. I'm also going to be on the Panthers team total under 3.5.
Wow.
I decided to bet that instead of the full game under. But again, I haven't moved on these two spots. We just had a 14-cent move towards Florida. And if Philadelphia loses here to Florida, it's not going to change anything. I'm going to be betting them every game for the first 10 or 15 games. And it's not that they didn't come to camp in shape with Torts coaching them. So here we go. Bobano, take it away. Flyers, Panthers, Sunrise, Florida.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I'm on Philadelphia money line. It's just I'm taking some plus price shots here these first few days of the season. Everyone's on an equal playing field. The teams that are supposed to be bad don't know that yet. You know, look at Pittsburgh, for example, against the New York Rangers. And I think for Florida, they didn't play great against Chicago. I know they carried the play. They had the shots advantage. I thought a lot of their offensive execution wasn't crisp. Their power play wasn't great in that game. That's one thing Rick Tocchet always emphasizes, being good on the penalty kill. So, like I say, if the offense is going to come from Florida, it's going to be 5-on-5 even strength. What I like is Dan Vladar getting the start here for Philadelphia tonight. This guy played very well last year for the Flames. Let's not forget that. He was very, very solid. It's a nice pickup because in case Samuel Ersson has those inconsistencies like he did last year, you've got a guy in Dan Vladar, Darth Vladar, you can throw him in there and he can play well. And I have visions of him playing very well against Florida. I remember there was this game Calgary was getting badly outplayed and Dan Vladar is keeping them in the game and giving them a chance to win that game. He was sensational, I remember, against the Panthers last year. So I think they are live to be in this game and maybe spring the upset here down in Sunrise. So plus 202, best price out there, Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm going to be with you. And I'm also very interested in betting these unders in Panthers games. So I am going to sit with the under and the Panthers team total under. At this point, I'm leading towards the Panthers team total under, but I'm going to sit with both after the show, study it some more, and then bet one of them. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board here. And we've had a big move towards the New York. Oh, shit. So Jose is not back. So that was.
Oh, yeah, the graphics. Yeah.
That was Philadelphia, Florida that we just talked about.
Yeah.
And then we are moving
Islanders,
on.
Pittsburgh, right? We're going in rotation order. Yep.
Yep.
So Islanders,
to New York, Pittsburgh. Thank you, guys. With this spot, I want to fade Pittsburgh so badly. I didn't want to fade them in the first game against the Rangers. I don't really want to fade them in the first 10 or 15 games of the season. You know, we know.
Well, here's your conundrum, right? I get it. Want to fade Pittsburgh off that big upset against the Rangers, but it's also the team with the game under their belt, which is Pittsburgh, versus the team with no game under their belt. And sometimes that's not a good thing for the team that hasn't played.
But also, studying this Islanders team, Bobano, I want to fade them.
Yeah.
This is not the team. Pelech and Pulock have not taken the steps that I expected. The fact that D'Angelo can be a number one line defenseman, I am still surprised by. The Barzal, not stepping up, the Port Coquitlam BC boy to becoming a star. The first line of Drouin, Horvat, and Heineman is not very good. And I'm not sure how good Palmieri, Barzal, and Anders Lee are. I understand when they got rid of Dobson, they were like, well, we have a Tony DeAngelo. We have some offensive defensemen. Maybe we don't want to pay Dobson or whatever. But so then, you look, so what are the Islanders to miss the playoffs? They're minus 300 to miss the playoffs. They're expected to miss the playoffs. The market understands this isn't a very good team, and I just don't want to back them here. So I have question marks beside the Islanders, but the Penguins should probably be backed for the first 10 or 15 games of the season because of the accountability that Crosby provides. Take it away, Bobano, Islanders, Penguins.
Yeah, from a side perspective, I don't have much. I mean, I'm not laying minus 140 ever with the New York Islanders on the road. I can't do it. That's just not the right price range to trust this team. And I give Pittsburgh credit. Dan Muse had them playing a very nice structure defensively, shutting out the Rangers. They didn't give him a whole lot. Shelovs made the saves when he had to in that game. The problem is no Shelovs tonight. You got Tristan Jarry. And to me, right now, Shelovs is the better goalie. Jarry is way too unreliable, way too inconsistent in my mind. I could see the Islanders, and I guess my one fear with going with an over in this game is the fact that Dan Muse has stressed defensive, structure and strong play in the D zone, and they certainly put it on display against the Rangers. But this is, for some reason, Islanders Penguins, it's been very high scoring, 5-4, 5-4, 4-3, 6-3. There was one game that was 3-2, and everything else recently, going back to a couple of years ago, has been high scoring with these two teams, and the total's only 5.5. So just a series history play for me here. 5.5, Islanders Penguins over 5.5, -125.
Isles, Penguins, Bobano.
And
Isles.
the fact we get Jari in net, who I think is a downgrade right now from Shilov's.
I loved seeing Artur's step up there. It made me very proud of the Calder Cup champion. Okay, we're going to roll on. By the way, JW, who says this wasn't a big upset, Penguins are the better team. You're going to put yourself in a position to make a ton of money if you feel that way.
There's some truth to that point. Maybe they wear down later in the year when the games add up and the body and the mileage on the body piles up a bit.
Game 15 or 20.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not good. Malcolm was leading the league in scoring after 11 games last year. Pittsburgh's point total is 76.5, and the Rangers is 94.5. So when you have a feeling like that and the market is so heavily against you, you have a real opportunity to make money.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that take it all. The Penguins are going to be such trash that all we're going to hear all year is should they trade Crosby to Montreal? And of course, that's not what he wants. But when you have an angle like that, that's so against what everything is telling us, you have an opportunity to make a lot of money, JW, and I'll be looking forward to hear how that works out. We move on to the next spot on the board: Devils, Hurricanes, Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. Go through this line history here for this one. Carolina's -169. They opened up at -155, so a 14-cent move towards the Hurricanes. I'm astonished we're getting this number with the Hurricanes at home. Astonished. I don't expect we're going to get it for long. I'm much lower on the Devils than others. I bet they're under 99.5 points. This total opened up at 5.5, -115 to the over. It's now -118 to the over. I spent a lot of my life watching Markstrom in net. I don't think he is elite goaltender. Freddie Anderson, look, we don't ever get to see him. We haven't seen him in a few years play 50 games. Is he capable of it? I don't know if he is, but he can get hot. And I'm on the Hurricanes -1 at +100. If you give me the Hurricanes -1 at home at even money, I expect to bet it every single game all season long. So I'm on the Hurricanes -1 +100. Take it away, Bobano.
I wasn't going to bet it, but now you convinced me. Give me Carolina -1 as well. Here's the thing. I was leaning. I love Carolina because you already know I revealed it on Monday night on the NFL stream that they're my Eastern Conference champion pick and they're my Stanley Cup champion pick. And I don't trust some of Freddie Anderson still. But Freddie Anderson played, I thought, a pretty good playoff last year. I thought his best playoff in years. Mm-hmm. And so I've softened my stance on my worries about him in net going into this season. And if he just gives them decent goaltending, the blue line's terrific. Their forward group is really good. Line 1 through 4. They've got great depth. Nikolai Ehlers, Sebastian Aho, and Seth Jarvis could be a phenomenal top line. It really could be. I love the addition of Nikolai Ehlers from the Winnipeg Jets. And I think New Jersey is going to be a bet-on team for me at times. The only concern here is I think it's an overrated angle anyway. It is playoff revenge for New Jersey. A decimated, injury-riddled Devils team got bounced by the Hurricanes in the first round last year. So they'll be up for this game, but I just don't think they're better, than Carolina. And you're right about the goaltending, whether it's Allen or Markstrom. They can be a little bit erratic. And you're right. You're just not often going to see Carolina here at the Lenovo Center priced like this on a routine basis. We're going to see them over north of -200, most times this year on home ice. So, yeah, I think New Jersey's good. They're healthier. They're certainly going to have a better season. I'll be backing them in the future, but just not tonight. For me, Carolina -1, -104.
You are in business. Next up, Minnesota Wild, St. Louis Blues. I have Wild over their point total this year. And unlike a lot of my colleagues and cappers that I respect, I'm not that high on the Blues. And I respect my friends and colleagues being high on them. So I'm not going to fade them here. I'm going to watch the game. I'm very interested in it. A lot of people believe this could be the best second line in hockey. I do not think that's the case at all. But again, I'm listening. I'm not just going to react and be on the other side. And so I'm off of this game. This total has moved pretty quickly to the over. We had a 15-cent move to the over. Now it's up to minus 130. That's, we're not used to those kind of moves for any wild games. They play a pretty stiff defensive system, but they do have some snipers now, no doubt about that. And we have Minnesota, St. Louis right now, a huge move towards them. A huge move that really has to be respected, from minus 107 up to minus 125. Bobano, take it away.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm very, very bullish on St. Louis. I'm actually not as negative on Minnesota as I've been in the past. I actually think there's going to be some chances for Minnesota to maybe be better than people think. Kaprizov's got paid. Hopefully he doesn't, sometimes when you get paid, you exhale and you don't always play up to the money you're now making, but I expect he will. For the Minnesota Wild. And you're right. I think they've improved a little bit up front. They've got a little more dynamic back end now with Zeev Buiem and Brock Faber on it. So they think they got more mobility now on the back end, which is important. That being said, St. Louis how strong St. Louis finished the year at home last year. You couldn't beat this team in St. Louis down the stretch. The regular season, they won almost every home game. We saw what they did in the playoffs against Winnipeg. They won every home game in that series in the first round. They were just dynamite here on home ice. And, I'm high on them, so I'm going to take them here, St. Louis, minus 118. I'm also on the over in this game, over 5.5, minus 120. This is a series history play as well, just like Islanders Penguins. Wild and Blues last year, 3 of the 4 meetings went over the total. And in fact, 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over the total, and we're only getting a 5.5 here. So Blues over 5.5, both of them on the card.
You are in business. Let's keep rolling and be as quick as we can rolling here. Samit saying only bullish on St. Louis when Binnington's in. I'm a Hofer guy. I don't think there's a problem with Hofer in that. I think he's a really good backup. I think he'll push Binnington at times when Binnington struggles, and we know he does at times, even though he steps up for the big games. But I hear you, Samit. Let's move on to to Jackets Nashville Predators. Look, last year Columbus exceeded expectations heavily. And Nashville was horrific. Of course, we know the team that makes the most exciting moves, the team you want to play on Xbox the most, even though I haven't played in 15 years or so, is the team that struggles out of the gate. And they struggled big time. I really want to watch these two teams. I am a big Evangelista backer. He's from here. He's from Toronto. And I think he's going to be a monster. Well, I think he can score 40 goals in the season. Not this year, but I think he's capable of a 40 goal. I think he's a sniper, a very high quality sniper. And I think there was a discount that they signed him for. And I get why he held out. He thinks he's a beast. It helps to be confident. Nashville opens up at minus 134. They're now minus 113, a huge move towards the Blue Jackets. I'm off the spot. Take it away, Bobano.
Yeah, I'm on Columbus. I like Jet Greaves. This is a bet on Jet Greaves as much as it's a bet on Columbus. Jet Greaves is in net. This guy was phenomenal down the stretch. He's really got a chance, I think, to win the starting job from Elvis Merzlikins. And I think the fact he's starting the first game of the year tells you Dean Evason's thinking what I'm thinking. This guy could be the new number 1 goalie. We saw what he did. He almost brought Columbus into the playoffs last year. That's how good he was down the stretch for the Blue Jackets. He'll start in net for the Jackets. I know Nashville. To me, Nashville, I've said this a million times on a bunch of shows recently. I think there's going to be spots to back them. It kind of feels like a let's buy the dip type of team, Nashville, after the bad year. Everything went wrong last year. But I still can't get over how this lineup looks. It still looks clunky. Older players, they look slow a lot of times last year when you saw them play. And the Blue Jackets not only have greater speed, they have absolutely a ton of obviously offensive game breakers, and I'm not sure Nashville can match them in that regard. So I will go with the Columbus side here in this one at plus, it's a small plus price, plus 104.
You are in business. We head to Stars Jets. These are two good teams. But I'm interested in fading the Stars season futures. I still am 104.5 points. It's heavily juiced to the over. They're a team that's going to make sure that they're healthy come playoff time. I'm not sure if they can play with the Avs. And last year I was on them. Look, I was on them. But now with this Avs team getting a long break, having Landeskog back, getting a time to get healthy, and Brock Nelson, I mean, he's such a quality player. Nature's in the contract year. I'm interested in moving on under 104.5 points on the Stars, and I'm not involved in this game here. We have Winnipeg opening up right around where it's at, minus 106. It hasn't moved. Bobano, take it away. Are you interested in possibly under in this spot? We know that these teams do not like each other and know that they got to go through each other to get to where they want to go. The 5.5 minus 115 to the over. It's taken about 7 cents. Take it away.
Yeah, there's no bet for me in this game. I will say this: if you like the under, I get it. 9-1 to the under between these two teams in the last 10 meetings. It's been an under series history. You've got, obviously, we expect Ottinger and Hellebuck to be the goalies here tonight in this game. Two of the better ones. Two goalies that are battling probably to be the starter for the USA at the Olympics going head to head. So I expect motivation and the willingness and the incentive to be on their game here tonight. I lean Dallas, but it is Winnipeg playoff revenge. They got bounced by the Stars last year. They are at home. They're not a home dog. Well, they're slight, it's basically even money a pick 'em, but still, you don't get Winnipeg priced like this at home very often. So, yeah, it's a pass for me. I lean Dallas, lean under.
Let's move on. 9 p.m. Eastern. We got to be tight. We have Mammoth Avalanche, Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. And I'm not high on the Mammoth. Look, I think Gunther is an absolute beast. Cooley is excellent, but I'm not high on this hockey team. And I think they're, other than the snipe jobs that they're capable of, I'm not that. I think they're a pretty easy team to play. Avalanche is my only Stanley Cup future at plus 900. And I took the -1. Again, I think this is similar to the Hurricanes line. I think if you give me a -1 on the Avalanche, and it's at -119, and I got in late too. I could have got a much better line. I'm just going to take it every time. I think if they're healthy, this team is a juggernaut. They're so smooth. Take it away, Bobano.
And Scott Wedgwood's a better number 1B goalie than you would think. Scott Wedgwood can play, and he played very solid in the opener against LA. We'll see if Blackwood is able to return. There was some thought he can return, and obviously he had a better year last year. No, it's Wedgwood. It is Wedgwood confirmed, actually. So there you go. It is Scott Wedgwood again. No problem with that. I've got no worries about that if I'm a Colorado fan. I think he's a very solid, capable type of goalie here going into this one. I like a prop here. And this is we're taking some shots here. I like Dylan Gunther to score a goal, plus 236. I'm making that official. He was on fire during the preseason. I've got him for 30 goals or more as a season-long player prop. He is a bona fide goal scorer, finisher, and I think he is definitely going to find the back of the net early and often this year, starting tonight. So that's my one bet here. Dylan Gunther, plus 236, anytime goal.
Plus 136.
Plus 236.
Oh, God. So I thought that was a little low as the Rocket. And I was thinking Richard, not Bure. Plus 236 for the Gunther goal. We roll on. Next up, 10 p.m. Eastern, Calgary Flames at Vancouver Canucks, Rogers Arena in Vancouver, BC. I can't believe when I bet the Canucks to miss the playoffs in June that the line didn't move 40 cents in my favor. It didn't move at all. I was astonished at that. So I am on their season total, and I want to fade them as much as possible. I think that this very young Flames group is going to be so excited tonight. They came back against the Oilers, and because they're such a young, excited group, going back, playing on the road as another big dog, I think they're ready to jump out of their skates for 20 minutes. I haven't bet this yet, but instead of fading them off of the good game, I want them in the first period against the Canucks. I think they're going to be flying out there after what they did last night. And I haven't moved on this yet. Take it away.
Yeah, Calgary, look, it's one of these deals where they've got the game under their belt, even though it's back-to-back versus Vancouver. For what it's worth, I'm not making this official, but I'm dabbling on Calgary first period. money line here. It's that angle of they played last night. Maybe in the first period they pounce on Vancouver a little bit. And then maybe Vancouver comes back and wins late. That's possible. I don't like the fact that obviously we don't get Dustin Wolf tonight. We're going to get Devin Cooley, who only has a handful of games under his belt at the NHL level. Very inexperienced at this level for Calgary and net. But in the first period, I'll take a shot. This is not going to be official. It's just a very small bet, but I do have a small, tiny Flames first period money line in my pocket here at a nice plus price.
Yeah, I'm going to be on it too. The line's been moving towards Flames. Let's just hear action on these last two games because we
save some time for the football. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to talk football. Yeah. Is it 1 p.m. you have to leave exactly?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 8 minutes. So Golden Knights, San Jose Sharks. I expect the Golden Knights are pretty upset. Jack Eichel looked spectacular. If he stays healthy, he leads the league in scoring. We talked about that on Monday on the live stream, NFL live stream. But I don't want I'm high and excited about the Sharks. I want to watch the Sharks play so badly. This total is at 6. It's minus 120 to the over. I understand when these two teams play, there's going to be a ton of overs. But ask about me, the new goaltender, well, not new, but the goaltender given the opportunity to star in San Jose could be incredible, Askarov. And I think that Vegas is going to be much more defensive in this game after looking so bad defensively. So with that all said and done, I've not moved on this game here, and the Vegas Knights are sitting right now as we speak at minus 205 on the road, open up at minus 183. You know, the Sharps expecting a bounce back. Are you?
I think so, just because, and I like San Jose. Good spots to back them moving forward. I believe it. I'm not sure it's tonight. Vegas has beaten them 7 in a row. Vegas has scored 4 goals or more in 7 in a row against San Jose. So I'm on the over 3.5 minus 110. Vegas team total over 3.5 minus 110. It cashed last night. I think it will once again tonight. I'm also on first period full game over. It's been a very high scoring series history. I've circled overs for Vegas. I'm not sold on Askarov yet. I need to see it. He wasn't that great in his opportunities with the Sharks last year. Over 1.5 minus 125 first period. Over 6 minus 118 for the full game.
You are in business. That is Vegas, San Jose. And sorry, what did you get for the over 1.5? Sorry, I was changing the graphic. What did you get?
Minus 125.
Minus 125 on the over 1.5 and the full game over?
Minus 118. Over 6 minus 118.
Over 6 and minus 118. Then we have Ducks Kraken. Kraken are dealing with some injuries. They're not big time injuries, but they're banged up. And I want the Ducks so badly, but I still haven't put my finger down and pressed the button on them. I'm on them to make the playoffs. I'm on there over their point total. I think they're going to be a really good hockey team this year. I love the Q's there. I can't stop saying I love their hockey team. All these top 3 picks littered throughout this team. I'm excited about them, but I can't press the button. I'm going to. I want to. Lead me there. Bobano.
They beat Seattle twice in Seattle last year. Both times they went to Climate Pledge, Anaheim. They won. And that was an Anaheim team that I don't think is as good as they're going to be this year. Seattle, I don't love the hire. I don't love their depth of scoring. Unless Matty Beniers is finally going to become a true number 1 center and produce offensively, he better, because they don't have a lot of depth in their lineup.
I've let go of expecting Beniers to be great.
Yeah. The blue line is okay. I like Decord. I do like Joey Decord. But again, there's a lot of flaws and holes in this roster. I think Anaheim's improved in a lot of areas. They got a coach that knows how to win in Joel Quenneville. I think they give him a coaching edge over Lane Lambert, no question. Anaheim is a dog here for me. It's actually one of my favorite sides here on the card. Plus 115.
Ducks plus 115 for Bobano. I expect to get there. I just needed to be pushed a little bit further. By the way, keep your eye out for our Toronto boy, Beckett Seneca. I'm not a Toronto guy. Look, I'm a Vancouver guy. I'm not, but he is going to be quality in tough situations. Now, it's tough being a fucking 19-year-old in the corners in the NHL, in front of the net in the NHL, but he's going to be a tough guy. When he's a man, he's going to be a 40-goal scorer. He's going to punch you in the face. He's going to be awesome. Beckett Seneca. He's on the second line as a 19-year-old. That is our NHL breakdown. I'm going to go over all of Bobano's action right after NFL. We just don't have time right now. Bobano, let's move on to CFL. Jose, let's move on to CFL quickly. We don't have time to break down these games, Bobano. just tell us, is there anything you want to make official? I'm going to be breaking down these games with our guy Gorky tomorrow fully, but is there anything you want official so that we can lead in? I meant to do this last week and I forgot. Is there anything you want?
Yeah, this is Saskatchewan. What's the double result currently on Saskatchewan? I think it's just too highly. I'm sure the price has just gone too high now. Unless Saskatchewan double result is a decent price, this is a pass for me.
They have pulled this.
Really, yeah.
Why would they have done that?
Well, there are some injuries for Saskatchewan. Let me see if I can find the tweet there that was out there yesterday. They have a couple defensive injuries going into this game. I don't know if it's because of that, but here's the thing. Toronto's unbackable. So this is either I bet Saskatchewan or I don't bet the game. I don't know if I want to lay 10.5. There are some injuries with the Riders on the defensive side of the football at the moment going into this game. We know obviously Arbuckle's been shut down for the season. Yeah, it's Tevin Campbell and Roland Milligan are out for Saskatchewan. So that's two of their guys in the secondary. And Roland Milligan's one of their best players in that set. Now, is Jared Dagey on the road capable of taking advantage of that? I'm not so sure. So yeah, I'm gonna lay off, Jimmy. Pass for me. I can't back Toronto, but a little bit of a premium here on the Riders.
Stamps, Ticats, Hamilton Stadium, Hamilton, Ontario.
I really think Calgary is starting to crash and burn. There's nothing to like right now with Calgary. And Hamilton with a chance at home to clinch the division, and a Calgary team that beat them in week 1 early in the season, so a little revenge spot. I will take the Ticats here, and I'm an unbiased person when it comes to my team. I tell you when to bet on them. I tell you when to bet against them. I was on them last week against Toronto. Thought it was a great spot for them after getting blown out by the Bombers on the road. Chance to clinch the East at home with a win Saturday afternoon. Calgary in the past has had trouble in these spots going east. So I will take Hamilton, and I will go money line on this, -140.
-140 for Bobano. Bombers, Elks.
Bombers need it, but Edmonton just keeps on covering. This is tricky. I want to get to Winnipeg here. I do, but this Edmonton team just keeps on, covering numbers. They've been awesome as an underdog. I could see them being competitive here. They're not going to totally give up on the season. Now they're coming off that game, Edmonton, against Saskatchewan. They're both off a bye, these two teams, where they played their asses off for the passing of their owner. He just passed, and they gave an emotional effort. Are they going to bring that again here is going to be the question. Winnipeg needs it because they're battling for second in the West, which would give them home field advantage in the semifinal, West semifinal. So there's a lot at stake for the Bombers. Mike O'Shea's track record off a bye is not just good, it's great. So I really want to take Winnipeg here. But you want to lay 3.5 on the road against an Edmonton team that, what are they now, 8-2 against the spread their last 10 games? Look at them as a dog. 4 in a row they've covered as an underdog. It's hard to lay points against Edmonton right now. So lean Winnipeg, but I'm passing for now.
Red Blacks, Alouettes on Monday, Thanksgiving Monday up here.
This one, I'm just going to keep it simple with this. Ottawa's a dead corpse walking at this point. Bob Dice has got to be gone after this. I've got to believe it. This is it for him. I don't think he'll be brought back. They're now officially eliminated from the playoffs. They were eliminated weeks ago, but they're definitely out now. Montreal can't. Now, Montreal, if Hamilton wins, on Saturday, this game's on Thanksgiving Monday, kind of locks them into second, in the East. So does that take some of the incentive? I still don't know how a healthy Davis Alexander, though, doesn't shred this Ottawa defense, which is absolutely terrible right now. It's banged up as well. So even though, Hamilton winning Saturday means Montreal can't win the division, they're pretty much locked into second. So does motivation kind of wane a little bit here if that happens? Despite that, I'm going to go ahead and take it 32.5 -110 Montreal team total, over 32.5 -110. I think they light up this Ottawa defense, and we saw Davis Alexander look great in the return against Calgary.
You are in business, Bobano. I will review your action here in a second, and then we're going to talk Eagles Giants. Now, you've only, and a lot of this has come in exhibition in the preseason, but you are 6-1 on the show here in NFL through 7 bets. And I'm sorry that we didn't hammer these Thursdays. We've just been really trying to utilize you for college football so that we get the coverage. But we're going to start hammering these NFL spots and let you keep that record climbing and looking absolutely spectacular. As I said, records are back, and I will finish off the college stuff as soon as we're done today's show. Take it away for us, Eagles, Giants, and you don't need. I know you're tight for time, so we'll cap this.
I will keep it brief. I get it. Philly's off a loss. This is still, we think, an elite team and a Super Bowl contender. I get all that. And maybe they're going to romp. Maybe they're going to roll and blow out this Giants team. And we know they've done that in the past. We know the Giants don't have the strongest home field. That being said, I think there's something inherently wrong with the Eagles. They're not getting stops when they need it. Their offense looks totally disjointed, can't run the football consistently. They are up against a Giants defensive front, which is one of the strengths of the team. Everyone's talking like Philly bounced back off a bad loss, bad taste in their mouth, but Giants are off a bad taste in their mouth. Turnover-plagued loss in New Orleans against the Saints. And the last time we saw the Giants as a home dog with Jackson Dart in his debut, they won outright against the Chargers. Now, Chargers have issues. Chargers have O-line problems. I get it. But, I expect a competitive game here. And here's the kicker. Eagles, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. How about 0-7 against the spread? The last 7 games they've been favored by more than a touchdown. 0-7. Against the number. They have not won a single game by margin this year. All their wins have been by a touchdown or less. We have a close game, I think. Giants plus 7.5, minus 110 for me.
I agree. I have not moved on it yet, but I agree. Let me put this over here. Bobano on the Giants plus 7.5. What was the juice?
Just minus 110. Yeah.
All right. Get that cash, Bobano. I'm going to review all of your action after we finish breaking down this Eagles-Giants game. But thank you so much for rocking with us. Tell us what's going on. Pick the Hitting the Books YouTube channel.
Yeah, as far as hitting the books, it's great to be doing that show with Connor Mack. Make sure if you're a member of the channel, you will see us tomorrow for a members-only show, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. And, of course, we have the college football Hitting the Books show for everybody, Mondays, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. So join us for that. Ice Guys, 7 days a week as well for hockey, me and Alex P. Smith. Make sure you check that out. Great stuff. Always good to be with Jimmy and everybody in the chat on a Thursday. Enjoy the games and good luck tonight. We'll see you next week.
There he is, our guy, Ian Cameron. We have a lot of action coming in here as well from cappers in the chat. So I find this game extremely difficult just because the Eagles are coming off of a loss. It's really messed this up because I've seen it feels like we've seen the story. We've seen the situation, and the Eagles in a spotlight game on the road in division as a 7 or plus point favorite are just not going to cover. And so, but I can't, it's very, very difficult to fade this angry Eagles squad. Extremely difficult. Let's go over action here from cappers in the chat. We have Justin McKelvey of the Eagles minus 7.5 in his pocket. Just my 2 cents has 2 different SGPs that we will discuss right here and right now. Ron Crawford says division home dog better D. We'll go over all of that stuff, and I'm not just going to regurgitate what Troy and I broke down. We have that video cut out. TC's first play of the day is with Saquon Barkley, 60 plus rush yards, 2 plus receptions at plus 149. He also has the Jackson Dart SGP, 150 plus pass yards, 25 plus rush yards, and 1 passing TD at plus 143. Let's keep getting this here. We have Stacks play of the day here. Scatterbo, anytime touchdown. I'm going to keep copying and pasting this action, but shout out to our guy, Justin McKelvey. Stacks is in.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Timmy Tushu is on Saquon and AJ Brown here as well. We have so I got Saquon, got the Dart. Oh, I think I screwed that last copy and paste up, but it's fine. We have Nasty Nate on the Eagles first half. Dutch Boy Fresh giving us Eagles money line and Barkley anytime touchdown at plus 100. And we have the Giants plus 7.5. Sorry about the PSR website. We'll have Swiggy on that. We'll get that taken care of. We have our next guest ready to rock MLB with us here. But I'd like to bring him on for this football breakdown. I have not asked him about this or set this up, so I hope it's okay. Can I bring you on for the beautiful? So let's bring on our next guest, the co-host of Walk Off Wagers here on Pub Sports Radio, also the star of the Sauce Network as well. Please welcome our guy Morgan Spooner to the show. Spoondog, what's happening, man? How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, Jimmy. Pretty excited for another Thursday night football game that I think we're going to get a chance to live bet, and I've already moved pregame on it. I'm on the New York Giants plus 7.5, minus 110 as well. This is market screaming Giants. Like, I don't know if you've looked at it yet, but 81% of the tickets, 77% of the cash on Philadelphia. Lined open 7.5. Look, I like to track Circa Legal Look, and it's now down to 7 there, while taking only Philadelphia money and tickets. I think that's a pretty strong move there. There's a reason it hasn't gone to 8.5 with all that cash, and I like the Giants. If the Philadelphia Eagles get on the board early, I'm going to try to get a 10.5 to 14.
It's a very, very interesting market here. It's funny because BOL, I don't have the actual site up. I don't have my account up, but I'm looking at an 8 here, supposedly, at minus 120 for the Giants and plus 100. And it supposedly moved yesterday at 4:46 p.m. I can verify that at some point. If anybody in the chat could verify that for me, it would be wonderful. So we do see, we did see, I think this might be a did now. I don't see. So do you see a 7 at Circa right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Minus 115, Philadelphia.
So now that I know we can't use a lot of these names, and we're not here to
I believe that book is good to go because it's legal U.S. book, right?
Yes, definitely. Yours is definitely. All those legal books are definitely. But the book that I used to use for line shopping is not available anymore for me on the site. And so I've moved to what I thought was the second best offshore, and it's a Costa Rican company that has 2 different books, and they just moved it to 7.5 11 minutes ago. So I find that interesting because up until this I was pretty certain that I was going to be on the Giants as well. A new quicker saying the Eagles minus 7 at minus 120 at 365. Okay, well, that is a very, very good sign. So
did they open 7.5?
I will have to. That's a different site I use for the legal books. I'd have to pull that out. New Walker, do you remember if they opened at 7.5 at 365? I can verify that, and I will here. So cash flow wise, as our guy Spooner was talking about, 81% of the tickets and 77% of cash on Philadelphia. And this whole time I've been kind of expecting that I was going to be on the Giants, but it's really hard to pull the trigger. Like I'm in a pool, it's a decent buy-in. There's a decent amount of money in it, but it was easy for me to press the Giants at 7.5. That was no problem. But to actually bet them is pretty difficult. Now, anybody who watched them lose to the Saints, and I watched it very closely, I was heavily invested in the Saints, and I needed them at that point. It wasn't it's never fun when you need something. The turnovers were egregious, and they were ridiculous. It wasn't hanging the ball out like this and getting it knocked away. It was like it slipped out of the Scatabo fumble was crazy. The Dart fumble just slipped out. I mean, it felt like the Giants were the better team, and I'd like to take advantage of that. It's just very difficult fading the Eagles after a very disappointing 21-17 loss when they're outscored, 18-0 in the second half. It's so difficult. That's where I'm stuck. What do we know about the Eagles offense? I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure what we know about him because Saquon's been off. AJ Brown's getting nothing. And yet this is the number 1 red zone offense in the league and number 1 third down offense in the league. They're the number 1 third down offense in the league. They're tied despite going 2 of 11 on third down against the Broncos. I don't want to, poke the bear, but the Broncos deserved all of that. They won the time of possession battle 34. The Broncos had the ball for 34-17. So I do not want to take a road favorite at a touchdown in division. So there's zero chance I'm going to be taking the spread. Now, you guys know I'm on the Eagles double result. I bet the Eagles double result. I got it at minus 115. Interesting. Troy has moved 3 different ways. He's got the Eagles double result. Colts minus a half, Eagles minus 1, a teaser, and an Eagles minus 1, Seahawks plus 7.5 teaser. But Troy got the double result at minus 125. And thus far, and again, the double results that I've been hammering it's fairly new, about 2 years or so. I've not had an NFL double result line move against me. Not once ever. Now, you could say that this has, because Troy got the minus 125, and when I bet it was minus 115. Now, I've had this move against me in both college and CFL, and I haven't won a double result when the lines moved against me. So, and again, the sample size is small, and I don't want to get too tied up in it. We have the squeaky wheel bet, and there's our guy Troy Torrance last week, was on AJ Brown to start delivering step up, and he didn't. And now we have Talk Sports with JT on AJ Brown's under 65.5 yards. What I know about the Eagles is they're a complete football team that is very tough to beat. You have to play a very high level of football, win the time of possession, and play clean football. That's your only chance. Look, they've lost 2 of their last 22 games. Their defense is solid. 5th ranked pass rush from PFF, 6th ranked rush defense, 10th ranked pass defense. Their red zone defense is 3rd. Their third down defense is 9th. But I don't know what to do with this offense. They're not putting up a lot of points. And if you're got a team that needs to win by 7 or more, you need an offense that's going to put up a lot of points. What is your thoughts on this Eagles offense and AJ Brown? Because Devonta got all the love last week. Devonta had 8 catches for 114 yards. And the Eagles, the smash mouth Eagles, only ran 11 times for 45 yards. That's not their recipe for success. So I'm still kind of confused here. I've never been on a double result and bet the other side on the spread. So what do you expect from this offense?
Well, I think Saquon's a little banged up. Missed a practice day this week. So that throws kind of a wrench in things for them. I think they need to be able to rely on the run to set everything up. They obviously have a ton of weapons there. Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. I expect them by the end of the season to both be over 1,000 yards, have decent seasons. I'm not too worried about AJ Brown. I think he turns it around. I think they probably move the ball some, but like, what are the books telling us? We're looking at a 40.5 total in this game. Relatively low total. You see 46s, 47s on the board. These short weeks, teams are banged up, don't have as much time to prepare. I just think this stays a 1-possession game throughout it. Like I said, I kind of went back and forth wondering if I should just wait and live bet it, because I do have some faith in the Eagles offense to go down there and score, especially on those scripted plays right out the gate. But I think the Giants were kind of looking ahead to this Eagles game in that game versus the Saints past week. So maybe there's some of that built into it too. And that's why I wanted to move pre-flop. But I think this Giants defense is a little underrated at this point in the season. I just don't think it gets blown open at any point. And I think that's why all the bets you rattled off, nobody once said that we want to lay the 7.5 or the 7. It was all how to take less points.
Yeah. I mean, this honestly, we hear a lot more action on the Giants right now, but that's because this is our life. We cap all day. We're studying markets. We're planning, and this is a market that's not successful for it depends. If this closes at 8 or a strong 7.5 or just 7.5, that's a little different. But the division favorite 7+ points on the road, I mean, it's just not a recipe for success. Chef Tony says, I think it's because of A.J. Brown controversy. Ever since he spoke up about the Eagles not throwing the ball, they've started to look weird because Saquon usage went down. Nasty Nate says, Eagles win by 13, and that's Gorky, same thing. Thank you for the super chat. Gorky says, margin play Eagles 11+. Says, I like this play because it gives me a single play on primetime. Says, if it does not cash, we will on Sunday. I guess I'm just going to see one thing that Troy does, and again, I track everybody, and I track is that he trusts favorites in public spots where the sharp action's on the other side, and he trusts them and he smashes them, and he's doing it here.
There's not a ton of sharp action here. 81% of the tickets are on Philadelphia. 75% of the cash. I mean, there's only 25% of the cash on the Giants. It's just the sharpest of the sharps that aren't allowing the line to move, I think.
That's fair, but wouldn't you say from our community and our group that it's 75% or higher on the Giants than the Eagles?
I guess I haven't gone through the comments enough, but I would assume that just about everybody's on the Eagles.
JW is on the Eagles, and Kripke says Eagles win by 10+. Okay, so the Eagles love is starting to come. Nasty Nate, Eagles win by 13. LJ from H-Town on the Giants +7. And Troy says, look at the distribution of road favorites in division versus non-division. Well, I don't need... Chef Tony says Hurt started to throw more and run the ball himself, so their offense started to become confusing when they would just play Eagles football to try and incorporate Brown and Smith is a bit more. Incorporate Brown and Smith a bit more. Well, with all this said and done, I have this, double result, which I am comfortable with. We haven't talked about this total, so let's discuss the total before we get into Major League Baseball. MLB is next, and I'm all set up for it. But let's discuss this total here. We have this sitting right now at 40.5. It opened, the look ahead was 43, and the look ahead got bet down to 42.5. It reemerges Sunday night at 42, and it just drops and drops and drops. We had this morning a 40, a flat 40. It didn't move and start getting juice to the over until 2 a.m. this morning. And then when we get to the cash flow, we have 70% of tickets on the under and 52% of cash on the under. What do you think about this total? It seems very low. It's cold, a little cold, but it's beautiful weather for football. 53 Fahrenheit, clear, 6 miles per hour winds. What do you think about this total, Spooner?
Thursday night football is where offense goes to die. Just generally those short weeks. I feel like the defense is ahead of the offense on being able to be prepared. I respect the total moving down. I took that as an indicator to help me move on the side. Just a lower scoring football game, those 7.5 become more valuable. I think there might be a chance to get a live under if we get some early scores. Like those scripted plays so often produce a lot of points, and then the game kind of slows down, especially in these just standalone games. I'm not going to move on the total, but I like the under, and I think there's a chance to get a better number live.
Troy is not on the 7 yet, so he's with me on the double result, and then he's got the teasers. And sorry, I misread what Troy had written. He said, go look at the distribution of road favorites in division versus non-division, meaning that road favorites do in the market efficiency database over the last 3 years take care of business. Now, is that including? I'm talking about road favorites in division 7+. That's what I'm talking about. So that is, it's not a, it's not anything low. Is there's a reason why that team is the favorite despite being in hostile territory.
The Eagles have owned the Giants for like 10 years now. Like
they have.
I don't think they've had a single season where they've had more than one win versus them in over 10 seasons. 80% of the tickets on the Philadelphia is no surprise to me.
BJ, I look from this market move. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't think, oh, wow, that's a big move. The books are telling us a big story here on the under. But when Troy says, I don't see how the Giants move the ball, and I know we need to talk baseball, so we'll move forward. And we've got our live stream to talk a lot of this as well. But I think the Giants offense looks pretty good. If Scatterbo and Dart don't fumble the ball there, I mean, they easily win that game. And maybe easy's a little much, but they win that game. They felt like a better team. They got Tracy returning now. I mean, it's just such a different offense with Dart compared to what it was with Russell Wilson or with Danny Dimes. But obviously, they didn't put enough care into their offensive line and their reasons.
The run game is what New York's going to rely on. They run a lot of that run pass option, especially with Dart being as mobile as he is, having two running backs they really trust available today. I may expect the New York Giants to milk the clock as much as possible in all of their possessions. They kind of lack that downfield threat without Neighbors there. Somebody to take it off the top. I believe Darius Slayton's unavailable for them as well. So they're going to be relying on some rookie wide receivers for that deep threat, and that's kind of a tough place for them to be. But they got a couple guys they can trust. They like their tight ends. It seems Dart's targeting them a lot, as well as having Wan'Dale Robinson. He's a pretty good wide receiver. He's not a bona fide one or anything, but I think this Giants offense is going to be able to look all right. It's going to be all about the Eagles' ability to stop that run. If they can't do anything with it on first and second down, it's going to be a really long day for the Giants. But the Eagles are facing some injuries themselves. I think this is a really good spot for the Giants. Market's really screaming it to me, in my opinion.
Well, that's fair. Dirk Diggler, is that right? Because the double result at 365 is moved to minus 120. And you're saying that the Eagles to win both halves is plus 147. Which means
so they have to win the first half and win the second half, as
of course, it's not win the first half and the fourth. Oh, my bad. Okay, of course. Okay, I feel you, Diggler. My bad. Tripped out there. Now, LJ, finally, to put an end to this, and I'd like to hear what you guys think of this. Of course, LJ saying the Giants need to run the ball, and I think they're capable of doing it. But LJ saying Eagles' rush defense is very suspect. All of the analysis that I've read is that this is an elite rush defense. It's ranked 6th in Pro Football Focus in the entire league. Are there? And I know that we don't want to take Pro Football Focus as if it's scripture. I don't know what term to use. Not that I read scripture, but not to take it too seriously. But do people think that Pro Football Focus is way off, and that this is a weak rush defense? Does anybody in the chat feel that way? Because I haven't been used. This is the most I've used Pro Football Focus, and I'm trying not to take it too extreme, but all of the statistical analysis says this rush defense is very good. So I'd like to. I mean, if we thought they were vulnerable on rush defense, that is the bread and butter for the Giants, especially with Dart being able to run around. I mean, look what Dart did last week. Now, he did lose the fumble. 3 Giants fumbled, but he ran 7 times for 55 yards. So again, there's something special happening with the kid. There's a special connection happening with Theo Johnson. I guess I'm going to, and Action Jack says it's got to be an under 40.5. Honestly, if I had a free bet right now, I bet the over. I go up against the market move. Now, can I actually invest my own money? I think the X's and O's tell us the Giants can be scored against, and the Giants can score. Salty Pete cashed the under in the Giants-Saints game, and he'll tell you that was a sweat amongst sweats. He missed 2. There was 2 missed field goals. He got the cash. I think this game goes over, but it opened up at 42.5 or 43, and it drops down to 40 and then up to 40.5. So, you know what? This is too low of a total. But you're right. Thursday nights are where offenses go to die. And if I'm going to I don't expect the Giants to be able to run the ball comfortably against the Eagles. Yeah, Wager Detective. So that's why I stopped using yards. Because they're 22nd in yards, rush yards defensively against. because I realized, well, that's not telling the whole story. And I'm not entirely sure if maybe I should use both. But that is precisely it right there, Wedge Detective. I was concerned that using only yards, that I wasn't, even though I could explain it to myself that I was simplifying things statistically, and that's what I'd always done throughout my life, looking at the yards against. But I was concerned that maybe that wasn't the sharpest way of analyzing the numbers, and that's why I moved to Pro Football Focus. So BJ says, got to be an underplay, Jim. Yes, if it's based on market, yes. But I'm not going to bet the under because it doesn't correlate with my X's and O's. Steve G says, I like the over, but not on a Thursday. Okay, well, thank you guys. That was helpful. The only thing I have is the double result, but I'm looking for more. Spooner on the Giants plus 7.5. Whether or not that means a Giants plus 7.5 and a total over, I've got to figure this stuff out. All right. And Marque says divisional grind, quick turnaround, typically low scoring. Yes, and Spooner dropped that beautifully, just saying this is where offenses go to die is on Thursday nights. All right, that is NFL football. Good luck, you guys. Please join us on our live stream tonight. It's going to be extremely enjoyable, and all I have is the double result at this point. So let's roll. Next up for us is Major League Baseball. Let's move over to MLB. We have 2 games, and we have Spooner for 33 minutes, so we should be okay. Yes, Action Jackson, the double result. That's all I have. I got it minus 115. So, again, it was minus 125 when Troy moved on it maybe 10 hours before I did, 8 hours before I did. Now it's minus 120, so it's right in between. I'm excited about the game tonight, but I'm excited every time we live bet and work together. Let's get to Major League Baseball. Spooner, my man, let me just switch a couple things here to take 1 second. Huge baseball games. Life is good when you can take some time out and watch these football games. I couldn't do that last night. I'm behind on records, and I couldn't watch the Jays. I had people down, here celebrating and watching the game, and I was like, and they were like, they talked some shit about me, but I had to go upstairs and just fucking do records and just listen to them and listen to the game and whatever. But if you get the opportunity to enjoy baseball, please do. And please enjoy this game. The Phillies making it a series. We have NLDS game 4. Dodgers up 2-1. Losing the under 8 in the game last night was really pretty upsetting. And for Kershaw once again to give me one last larynx stab before he goes off into the sunset made me dislike that class act. And I won't dislike him, but it certainly made me think about disliking him. Let's get into the line.
Last -1 at his home start.
Say what, my man?
You did get that last -1 with him in his final home start.
I know, but this one hurt, man. It just hurt because it was right. But what I should have done is when I said to everybody, I was like, look at this. Look at the fact that the pitcher with the 6+ ERA is more expensive first 5. And I said in regular season we wouldn't bet it. It was so hard not to bet the Dodgers -1. I kept saying we wouldn't do this. But what I should have done, if you analyze those statistics, is take the favorite team total under. Of course, I'm not good enough to have gotten to that fucking answer. We have the Dodgers at -1. And look, Kershaw was a blessing to the league and very fun to watch. And his curveball is magnificent. And it just pissed me off. That's all. I'm still feeling it. I haven't been in a very good run the last week, and I'm feeling it. Dodgers opened up -123. They're now -130, a 7-cent move towards the LA Dodgers. We have Sanchez and Glasnow, but we don't know how long Glasnow will pitch. We have this total at 8. It's -118 to the over. I watched you guys on the Sauce Network. I saw that there was a lot of love for the over, and there was love for the Dodgers. From a cash flow standpoint here, we have the 50% of the tickets on Philly and 55% of the cash on the Dodgers. So a real mixed market. 63% of tickets on the under and 62% of cash on this over. Oh, yes, Nordy. Yes, Nordy. I just, again, we talked football too long. Let me just make sure that, because we only have Spooner for 29 more minutes, and I just must ensure that it's, but yes, I will do that here shortly, Nordy, and I apologize. When we get to we did cash flow, we did the line history. Okay, so let's go to the weather here. Do you have Ballpark Pal up right now?
Yeah. So Dodger Stadium today is plus 2% runs overall, plus 16% home runs, minus 9% doubles and triples, and minus 1% singles. So it's slightly hitter friendly, but nothing crazy.
And you would think, again, and this was part of that Detroit-Seattle cap, and I was fortunate to cash the first 3 under, so I lost the full game under, which was disappointing. And to make it more disappointing, I also live bet the under 9.5. So it was a disappointing day yesterday. It's warm. It's really warm out west right now. So it's 78 Fahrenheit at first pitch, and it feels like 80. And you know how it gets cold at night in LA. It doesn't get cold tonight. And it's 7.4 miles per hour to right field. So just judging the weather, it does die down to 6.4. You would think that this is very offensive weather here. So Sanchez, 13-5, 2.50 ERA, 1.06 WHIP during the regular season. He was spectacular. 202 innings, 212 Ks. He only allowed 12 home runs over 202 innings. He was amazing. And he was great in game 1 of the NLDS. 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks, 2 walks, 0 home runs. He did enough for them to win. His splits are incredible. Righties, hit him a bit, 237, 627. But look, you're facing full righty lineups, and it's the split that you expect will hurt him a little bit. On the road this year, he wasn't as good as he was at home, but I think he's a very trustworthy pitcher here. 17 starts on the road. He threw 104 innings, 104 and a third. He had allowed 100 hits, 35 earned runs, 97 Ks, 27 walks. He only allowed 6 home runs on the road. 251 opponents batting average. Going up against Glass now, 3.19 ERA, 1.10 WHIP. I mean, his numbers were fantastic. Now, he allowed almost the same amount of home runs as Sanchez in 90 and a third compared to Sanchez's 202. We saw him in that game 1 of the NLDS. He came in from the bullpen. He threw an inning and 2/3. He allowed 2 hits. He struck out 2. He walked 2. It was not easy, but he didn't allow a run. His splits are phenomenal. Lefties are hitting 182, 586 against them. Righties, 173, 591. The Phillies bullpen statistically is being, better than the Dodgers bullpen over the last 6 weeks. And then, both teams are capable of attacking, whether it be Dodgers versus lefties or Phillies versus righties. Spooner, my friend, take it away.
I moved on the Dodgers. This is a spot we talk about the zigzag pattern so often during the regular season when you get to see a pitcher back-to-back so close. You just tally up those at-bats. Not a lot changes in the course of a week or so. So I think both of these lineups are going to get a little bit different version of Tyler Glasnow and Christopher Sanchez than what they saw last time. And as you alluded to, Sanchez pitched much better at home all season. That goes back to last year. I think that's one of those Sharpie things. Citizens Bank, they leave the grass a little long for those ground ball pitchers. I like Sanchez a lot, but I think this is a spot where the Dodgers lineup gets to him. Those ground ball pitchers, when they miss, it goes really far. Ballpark Pal has this modeled plus 13% home runs. Dodgers have so many bats up and down this lineup that can turn a mistake pitch into a 1 or 2 run home run pretty quickly. And I think the Dodgers back end of this bullpen is fine. This is Dodgers for me. I moved on that minus 102 that came out during the show that opened on the Sauce Network last night. I thought it was a bad number. It's minus 130 now. The way this market's set up, I really like that there's tickets money kind of bouncing back and forth on opposite sides. I think this is right where it should be for this kind of game. I like where I'm sitting with the Dodgers. Did Sharpie pop in? I saw he gave some plays earlier. Did he not give Tyler Glasnow overs?
Yes, I copied and pasted it. So let me grab it here right now. I do, sorry, it's on a different sheet. I was using 2 different sheets because I had NFL on one, and so let me pull it up. I do have a question though. here, and let's just quickly take a look at the situation. What the Dodgers have been doing. Yeah, they've been raking. So it's so funny, Spooner, because I was, this was helping me out enormously for a while, and obviously it's been a bad week or so for me. And I've, when you go through a bit of a struggle, you start questioning confidence and stuff. But I would see the minus 102 for the Dodgers and be extremely uncomfortable. And you see the minus 102 and think it's a mistake by the books, and then you are showing that you were right as it moves to minus 130. But minus 102, how in the world, with the Dodgers 52-29 at home, open up as a dog? Is it because Christopher Sanchez gives the Phillies an advantage over Tyler Glasnow, even though statistically it's pretty close? But and the Dodgers are hitting close to 800 OPS last 40 days or 35, 40 days against lefties. Is it? And then we know that the tougher lineup to get through is the Dodgers lineup. So is it just the Sanchez situation that made it the Dodgers open up at home, where they are 23 games over 500 in the regular season, open up as a dog? Is because of Christopher Sanchez, and you just place it at that?
So those lines come out. There's a little bit of difference between book. That was the very first line that came out. And there's issues when you go to price Christopher Sanchez. He's second for the Cy Young favorite this season. Had an amazing season. Philadelphia Phillies lineup's very deep. Lots of bats that can go off. We looked to the game yesterday. The Phillies didn't have to use their closer, so the bullpen situation should be good again as well. I don't think having close to a pick'em opening is that much of a red flag, but I don't think I necessarily expected to move all the way to minus 130. I expected probably 120, kind of close. Glasnow is a good pitcher, but I don't think you can put their seasons close. Christopher Sanchez pitched so many more innings. It was so much more consistent, but with consistency, he was consistently good at home and kind of struggled more on the road.
So for me moving forward, I'm not going to touch when I'm just astonished at an opening line, which I was. Now, I obviously handle these things differently because you moved on the minus 102 and we watched that line move right in front of us and you looked like a hero. And so it's so funny, the different ways of reframing a situation. And my success in gambling is so crucial to my life. It's imperative. Like everything crumbles. Everything will fall apart around me. And so I am dealing with the little more fear, I guess you could say, which doesn't always help. Although how much I despise the scared money don't make money. How much have you invested today? I want to know from those people who say shit like that. Sharpie's action. Glasnow outs over 14.5 at minus 150. That's a lot. Are you surprised? And also, Sharpie studies these things so well. Are you surprised that his outs are so high?
Pitched a lot recently. He's very fresh. If you look at his recent 2 outings, I don't have the numbers up in front of me anymore, but I don't even think he's thrown 6 innings in his last 2 outings combined. Plenty of rest. I really like the look, and seeing that gave me more confidence seeing Sharpie on Glasnow over props.
Oh yeah,
I think that's a huge part of this game. The Dodgers want to end this series here today. They don't want to extend this.
Oh God, no. Oh God, no. We all know one game is anything can happen in one game. Glasnow, he's on over 6 or more Ks, over 5.5 Ks. We've been seeing such low numbers for the total outs. I'm surprised that it was a 14.5. And he's on Dodgers full game total strikeouts over 9.5. Over 9.5. So
that's gotta be an alt number, right? Or is that all the pitchers combined?
That's all the pitchers combined.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I do not have a Sanchez outs prop. Just glass now. Why would that be?
I didn't see anything about a bulk relief pitcher for Philadelphia, but their bullpen's in a really good situation. It might be because like the range of variance in this, like you're not capping one outcome. Like just because you make a bet and it comes out right on one thing doesn't mean that's what you were capping. You were capping a range of outcomes, and this range of outcomes with Christopher Sanchez is huge because the hook is going to be there very quick, but at the same time they're going to want him to pitch very deep. Like they would love to see him out there in the 7th inning with just 1 earned run from the Dodgers on the board. But if 2 earned runs happen in the 2nd inning, I wouldn't be surprised to see Philadelphia bringing in a bullpen arm immediately.
Now, I have a Sanchez outs on other books. Not every book. A bunch of books don't
What's
have
the
them.
number?
Here, this is an offshore that I found a Sanchez outs prop. It's 16.5. And the under is minus 152. So it's a very, very interesting. And so listen to that. Listen to this. Talk about the range. I think you nailed it with the range. Justin McKelvey is over 16.5 outs minus 121 at Bet Rivers. That over 16.5 outs here at a what I believe is a much sharper book is plus 114. 35 cents worth or better, depending on how you look at it. And Twisted 247 says 24/7 says I'm sure Dodgers wanted to finish it yesterday too. Doesn't mean because they want or wanted to. You don't always get what you want. This is exciting. This is really, really, really exciting, and I'm sitting here just kind of on the outside looking in, and I'm not sure if that changes. I also think that where I screwed up was I thought that the Dodgers were capable of if they were going to lose, it wasn't because the Phillies annihilated them. I loved the freshness of the Phillies bullpen yesterday, and that doesn't change, does it? There's only been one. They had the day off, one game.
Yes.
All those guys can pitch again, right?
Tanner Banks is the only arm that went any significant amount of pitches yesterday, I believe. Off the top of my head, they're very fresh, ready to go. Duran didn't throw a single pitch yesterday. Guy's one of the best closers in Major League Baseball. If they're going to do anything they can to get him out there with a lead.
And thank you, Justin, for giving me that info. It's fucking fascinating. So if we're sitting at the book right now, pull out $1,000. I say, Spooner, go make us money on this total. We'll split the profits 50-50. What's your bet? Over 8 or under 8?
I'm going to take the under 8. Two prolific offenses, getting a pretty big number in a pitcher-friendly park. Maybe that's indicative of what's going to come, but you talked about that Phillies fresh bullpen. They're the underdog here. The team that is more likely to lose the game has more ability to keep runs off the board the later we get, and the team we expect to win the game. I don't see an outcome where we see last night's reversed, where the Phillies have a blow-up inning and the Dodgers get 8 or 10 runs on the board. I don't think that's in the cards. That was kind of, a fluke inning or two there, but I think this is an under. I looked at it last night. It's just not something I really wanted to get to. You can pay for even a juiced 8.5. I see minus 125.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that. So we see FanDuel at 7.5 with the over at minus 122. And then you see ESPN Bet with an 8.5 and the under at minus 130. Now you have some ideas as to why they do that. Are you surprised that FanDuel saying, hey, if you guys want to bet the over, bet it here, and ESPN Bet saying, hey, if you guys want to bet the under, bet it here?
So FanDuel I consider to be a pretty sharp book. They are very comfortable taking more bets than just about any of the other public US books. They have lower juice on just about any bet when you go to look at it on an average time. I think ESPN Bet plays it really safe with their totals. I think that 8.5 kind of indicates there's probably more runs than anything in this game because they don't want that 7.5 available for the best number. Whereas ESPN says, sure, go ahead and bet it. Very good money management on that book. They just take so much public action. They can afford to offer better numbers than what some of the other public books can. I think the story that those books are telling us right here is that the over is the play. I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, no, I think that's well put. We have Spooner moving on the Dodgers, and he got them at -102. What a steal compared to what it is right now. We roll on. At this point, I have nothing in Phillies, Dodgers, but I'm not done. We move on to the game that means more to us, Morgan. The NLDS Game 4, Milwaukee leading 2-1. Brewers 97-65, 45-36 on the road at the Chicago Cubs, 92-70, 15-31 at home, Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. It's sort of a tricky, weird situation with the futures where I can't send them in till the end of the year. So the need to hedge is much lessened because I haven't been paid for the division or the season win total over. It's strange, and it's messing with me a little bit. We have, and I don't want to hedge now. I think it's too early. But if this was 2-2, would I? I mean, I've got to figure all of this out. The books weren't dropping a starting pitcher. The books weren't, and now they are. It's Peralta and Boyd, which is what everybody expected. I don't know why they weren't. Why it was blank. And see, Jose's gotten blank because the books had them all blank. But
the teams didn't announce it until we started that football breakdown.
Oh wow!
So
okay,
they couldn't do anything with it.
But it's exactly what we expected. So we have, of course, Boyd after getting lit up and smoked. And I guess you can say some similar things about Peralta, not to the same extent. But let's get into the line history and hand it over to our guy Spooner. First off, it's cold. It's chilly in Chicago, 57 Fahrenheit, but it's not windy. It's 6.1 miles per hour right to left across the diamond. After an hour, it's veering out. And after 2 hours, it's out to left field, but still pretty much right to left. When we get into a ballpark pal here, let's grab it. Here, actually, you've got it up, so I'll let you hit that. I'll put that away. So what is the ballpark pal expectation here of Wrigley?
We have -21% runs overall, -22% home runs, -12% doubles and triples, and -8% singles. They expect very pitcher-friendly environment here at Wrigley today.
Which is what we got. It's what we got, yesterday. And I lost the first 300 badly. And was fortunate enough to cash the full game to push the full game under 7, fortunately, here. It's funny, in my head, Peralta didn't look that good against the Cubs, but he was fine. 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. He walked 3 batters. He struck out 9. It wasn't easy. And now he faces them a second time here. And then Boyd has had a very interesting playoff run here. And it started by pitching 2/3 of an inning here in this series, allowing 4 hits, 6 runs. Now, just 2 of them were earned. And he looked good against the Padres, and the Padres was at home. He looked good against the Mets, earlier on the 24th of September at home. But he hadn't been we've been talking a lot about whether or not he was dealing with arm fatigue. He's an older vet pitcher who obviously has tricks that he can, that I would expect him to pitch much, much better. I mean, obviously that's an easy thing to say. Let's get into the line history. Then we have a real legit move to the Brewers, but it came back the first time it moved towards them. So this opened up at -108 at 8:35 p.m. It stayed there until 2:30 or till a little after midnight, let's say, and it started moving slightly towards the Brewers, and then it kept moving. It kept moving every 30 or 45 minutes. And then all of a sudden the Brewers are minus 123 and the Cubs are plus 112. That's when, whether it's market manipulation or what, but that's when the Cubs money started coming in, when they were plus 112. And then all of a sudden you have it as a pick'em, basically at 9:49 a.m. You could get the Brewers minus 106 and the Cubs minus 104. And then it comes back to the Brewers now at minus 120, so 12 cents of movement towards them. And from a total scenario, we are sitting with this 7. And this 7 is quite heavily juiced to the over. It opened up at 6.5, and it lasted there for 10 minutes before it moved to 7. And it didn't just move to a regular 7, it moved to a 7 that was juiced to the over. And it stayed there until it started moving towards the over this morning. And now we have a minus 118. So it's a pretty big move towards the over. And when we get to the cash flow here, we have 59% of the tickets and 93% of cash on the Brewers, 89% of tickets and 80% cash on the under. So one thing for me, Spooner, in MLB playoffs is, and I screwed it up yesterday, but generally speaking, I cash unders in the first 2 games of a series at a much higher rate than I do later, because obviously they've seen the bullpen. They've, things, they start, they have tape
You're
on
seeing
everybody.
all the 1s and 2s for the first time. The best pitchers starting and the best pitchers out of the bullpen. That makes a lot of sense, just statistically.
And it works. And then I lose on unders in the middle of the series. And that's why I was trying so hard not to bet unders yesterday. And I still bet 5 different bets, which is way too many at this time of year. But then what happens is you get to the final game of a series and it goes under again, because there's so much on the line. There's so much analysis. The plan against the batters is, as much as the batters have a plan against the pitchers, the teams are generally using their most elite arms, and they know they have a plan as well, which makes me want to go up against the market move in both of these spots. I would like to go up against the market move towards the over in the Phillies Dodgers game, as well as the Brewers Cubs game. Spooner, take it away. Brewers Cubs. This is not game 5. So that the whole idea that I'm using for a clinching game, it's that for me is like, if the series is tied at 2 in the NLDS, or if the series is tied at 3 in the AL or NLCS, then unders come back. But do they come back here? And are you moving on the side? Take it away, my man.
I do think this is an under game. I'm not going to move on that under. I want to move on the Chicago Cubs if the market allows it. Currently, we have 60% of the tickets on the Milwaukee Brewers, 93% of the cash on the Brewers. You see that same kind of movement that Jimmy described there across the board. 108 opener. I only see it get up to 120 at the book I like to track, but they're at minus 115 again with Milwaukee right now. So Milwaukee is taking more money. These pitchers were recently announced, so I think there maybe was some suspicion that Milwaukee might push Peralta back for the game 5, but it doesn't look like that ever really took fruition in the market, because nobody hammered the Brewers, or at least the books didn't react to people hammering the Brewers. We see 93% of the cash on them. If this line stays about the same, you can get Cubs right around plus 100. I'm probably going to be at the Cubs at game time. 93% of the cash on Milwaukee. These splits are coming out, though, with a lot less data. So we have till 9 o'clock before this game goes. I probably won't bet it till 7. I'd like to see lineups, everything in it. I think the Cubs are live here. Matthew Boyd had a really bad game versus the Brewers last time. The zigzag effect. I think he finds a way to come out there, give the Cubs some good innings, and I think Freddie Peralta has seen this Cubs team a ton. I think over 10 times now in the last 2 seasons. A lot of these guys are racking up at bats against them. They just saw him. I think they find a way to get runs off him. This is a Cubs win for me here. I do think the Brewers win this series, but I think they take it at home.
Well,
I want more market information. I think it's too soon after the pitchers being announced to make a big deal about anything with tickets, anything with percentages. I do read a little bit into some of the total movement, but
Troy says Peralta should have been pushed to game 5. This decision dooms them. And there's Swiggy. Cappers contest lines are up, and the Eagles Giants spread is a 7. We have Chef Tony on the under 7 at plus 100. We have Chef Tony also on the Cubs money line. We have Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is in, and it is the Milwaukee Brewers. If you're listening to this on headphones, you might want to turn it down a little bit. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is the Milwaukee Brewers. Wow. Okay, we are in business. Money Meach, Cubs team total under 3.5, says he will drink the juice. Notice, Jose, drink the juice, not eat the juice. Fernando Mendoza on the under 7. Kripke says Cubs survive, push to game 5. Brewers team total over 3.5 minus 122 for Justin McKelvey. Skunt Blaster says if you like the over 7.5, you parlay it in the SGP with Dodgers money line. Wow. Frank Virginia says Brewers finish it up tonight. And there we go. Spectacular work, Spooner, my man. Thank you so much for rocking with us. So we don't have an official bet yet on the Cubbies game, but leaning in that direction as we have 93% of cash thus far on the Brewers.
If the market tells us this is a Brewers spot by the time the game goes off, I'll just not bet it. Watch the game, be happy with the Thursday night football game and that Dodgers game. I don't feel the need to be on this game, but the way it sits right now, I would love to be on the Cubs. So I'm going to join you again this Sunday for Pub Hub, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Last week went pretty well. I think I went 4-2. Looking forward to hitting that entire card again tonight. I'll join you if I can with the live stream tonight. I'm not sure what my schedule looks like at the moment, but definitely going to be rooting for the Giants there. I think we might get a live opportunity to get some more points in the bag. Still interested in that live spot, but good luck with the rest of the show today. Good luck to everybody in the chat. I got to get moving here soon.
Well, thank you so much for having us, and you can catch our guy Morgan Spooner at midnight Eastern on the Sauce Network with Kyle Kerms. I'm going to pop his X handle here in the chat. Please hit that and follow our guy Morgan if you don't already. Please hit that and support our friend Morgan. Ronnie Lofton saying, thank you, Spooner. We love you, Morgan. Thank you for rocking with us, my man. And go out there and get that cash. And thank you. Any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
No, you guys get that cash as well. Thursday is a great way to get that bankroll up for Sunday. Football is here. Saturday football is going to be great as well. Enjoy it, guys. Good luck.
There he is, Morgan Spooner. We lose Morgan Spooner, but in comes the producer of this fair show. Huge baseball games here this evening, so let's hear his take on them. Before we move into college football, I have fully capped these 4 games in college football. I want to make moves, but first, let's bring on our guy coming to us from our home studio, the Southtown 101 in San Antonio, Texas. Please welcome Mr. Jose Bouquett to the show. Jose, how are you?
Jimmy, we're doing good. Someone else said eat the juice recently. I forgot who it was, but my ears perked up and I was like,
you should write them off. Completely write them off.
Well, I am a forgiving person.
Oh, that's good.
That's not true. I hold grudges forever. I hold grudges forever.
Yeah,
you want to hear my latest grudge? And I've already called him a pussy publicly, and I'll keep doing it. Our guy Mills. I'll have a forever grudge against Mills.
Whoa.
For Mill. Yeah. Gigantic pussy guy. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if this is something we should be airing publicly here.
Oh, I already did this already. This is not the first time, but him coming into the Discord and chatting shit about the Red Sox Yankees game after the game was over and not showing his face up once during or before the game classifies him as a pussy in my head.
Wow. So. I think we should keep that for not public stuff. Our friend MMA Locker Room.
Well, if you're to talk shit, at least be a man and do it before, during the game, not right after.
All right. Okay. Hey, nothing wrong with having something to apologize for either. I had that yesterday, and you get that today. So
that's all right. I'm not.
Okay, let's get into Phillies Dodgers here. We have Spooner on the Dodgers minus 102. What is your plan?
Oh man, that was professionalism right there by Jimmy. Right, so shout out to you, Jimmy. I tip my hat to you. 0-2 yesterday on the day.
It's rarely here. Sometimes you
right,
can't count on it. Please don't count on professionalism from me.
Well, I 0-2 yesterday on sides, and what pissed me off even more yesterday, Jimmy, is that I texted you like the first bet I made all morning under in the Yankees game. Completely forgot to bring it up in our fucking show. So,
but you
I
bet
didn't
it.
Yeah, I bet it, which is nice. It's not going to count for the record. You know, I had a 1-3 day technically with the parlay and that. So, whatever. You know, we survived the day, but you know, for the record's sake, just so everyone know, 0-2 on the day. So.
It sucks here, and Troy and I have been talking a little bit about it, but the record is very important because, look, we're going to go into college football after this, and there are some really bad college football records that are coming out from our guys, and I am one of them. And I'm sitting here, even though I've had 2 back-to-back winning weeks, they've been very slight winning weeks, but I'm sitting here 20-25. I'm hitting at 44.4%, minus 8.08 units, ROI minus 17.96%, average line minus 111. And I've had colleagues say, when you put that record up, people say, well, why would I listen to this guy? I'm not going to listen to this guy. And for me, it's more important to be transparent and be honest, and for people to see, you know, where you're succeeding and where you're not. And because this whole industry is filled with this tout, fraudulent, bullshit, pretend fucking numbers, but it does hurt us. Last week, I had a losing week record-wise in NFL, but I had a beautiful money-making week. But sometimes your record doesn't portray that. And it's a problem. And that's why when I went down to SBR, they were adamant that we didn't show records. Do not show them. That's what they told us. And we fought against that. And you need to pray that if you are in a team, that one of you has a winning record. If you're both sitting there with down 20 units, nobody's going to watch the show. Nobody's going to care about the show. What the hell do you do then?
Yeah.
Guess you look for work, I guess.
Yeah. And, you know, it's always nice to see a comeback story.
I love that too. But I've had esteemed colleagues say, when you put up a losing record, they've had people say to them, why would I watch that? The guy's down 6 units. Why would I watch that? And so it's a double-edged sword, and both edges are gonna fucking cut you. Now, Troy says that transparency is the only reason I'm in pub sports radio. It means a ton, but you know, obviously, you don't. All of these hugely popular shows don't have any of it. Because if they did, then people wouldn't watch. But again, we don't need to get into that shit. Let's get into your action here. And I apologize.
We've got on quite a sideshow to start this off. I'm calling pals pussies publicly. And we're talking about the non-honesty industry that is sports gambling publicly. What a 5 minutes I've been on the screen for.
Yes. You never know what the hell you're going to get here. But let's get to work. Let's get back to work. We've broken this down, so we just need to hear your action. Tell us your plan, or you don't have to have action. Tell us your plan for Dodgers Phillies.
Yeah, so I haven't made bets on any of these games yet, and I'm going to do it live with you guys here as I kind of break these games down with you guys. I heard the breakdowns. What was interesting, Jimmy, what did you have this line opening up at? Because I think we use the same site now, and they took down the one site I was using more this year, and they took that shit away from us, which was hilarious. But I'm seeing minus 123.
Oh, yeah. It opened at minus 102. It's just that some books had the balls to open it at that number and open it right away. And then it just started getting hammered. Literally, I was watching it change. So
how interesting. And do you think that was and you know, the place where your buddy does his trade, the Anonymous Gambler, I looking at them, they opened up minus 118 seemingly.
Which is lower than other books.
Yeah, Marque, that's not my leg, that's my arm. But I definitely have gone back and forth on this because I'm like, okay, if I see this line at minus 123 and we've gone up to minus 130, I'm like, you know, it feels like the Dodgers are the move here. I have still the Dodgers to win the series from pre-series minus 125. that I've kind of served as my like money line bets here. I was disappointed, obviously, yesterday that we didn't get the job done, and I'm a little nervous about today. But I do think the Phillies roll here. I don't think I'm gonna move on anything sidewise. There's 90% of the bets, 82% of the money on the under in this game, and I'm seeing that this went from a, and
Well, you're talking about the Cubbies game then.
Let me double check that I just looked the wrong one. Oh, never mind. Yes, you're right. 64% of the bets, 59% of the money. Thank you for that on the on this game here. And I was looking at the total, or I'm going scrolling over to the total now. Here we've gone from a 6.5 juice towards the under there, and that was at BOL. And 10 minutes later, which I always kind of figure that it's just a typing mistake or a mistake, honestly, when it opens up at like a 6.5 juice to the under on our site, and then 10 minutes later it's a 7. So I'll treat it as a 7, minus 115 to the over, now minus 118 to the over. I think the lines are all tight. I think I'll just probably sit back and watch this game and just sweat out my series bet that I've got, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the futures obviously are in my head. I need to be bailed out. Okay, we're back. By the way, guys, the website is back, so maybe refresh it. But we're back. Thank you. And Jay Peasy in the house.
Jay Peasy. Feels like it's been a minute since we've seen Jay Peasy.
Oh, I miss him, man. I miss him.
Shout out to Peasy.
Great to see you, buddy. So nothing for you in game 1. Let's move on to game 2. I wondered when it was 2-0 Brewers if I should just quietly start hedging, not tell anybody about it,
not be proud of it,
not tell anybody about it, not tweet it out, but just quietly do it in the dark recesses of the office. Yeah,
sure. And I heard you were getting shit talked yesterday by your family because you were doing records.
Yes, but I was in a fucking foul mood. I was pissed off all day, so I was like, you know what?
I wonder why.
I was pissed off all day, and so it's because of my action.
Okay. I thought it was other reasons.
No, it's just things are just not, there's so much on the line, and so I was angry, and I'm behind all these records, and I don't have time to do them, and so they take so. But look, no one's here to listen to me, fucking bitch. Let's talk baseball here. Brewers, Cubbies, your plan of attack.
Yeah, so what an interesting game. So officially, like you said, Freddie Peralta versus Matt Boyd. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Why are these pitchers not officially on these books this morning? But the Cubs have been playing coy all series. Now, let's go to what I was saying earlier on mistake here, and what I think I've kind of have to move on here. Let me see here. All right, so I'm seeing a 7 opener here on this game. By the way, I think I fucked up reading the lines on the fucking last game for the total. It's opened up at a 7.5. Is now an 8 there, by the way. So apologies there. But let's talk about this total. All of the money in the world on the under, it seems. 90% of the bets, 82% of the money. And again, I think the money percentages are obviously a little different now. For example, like 50% of the bets and 60% of the money in the regular season and in the postseason are as much different. There's a lot more bets and stuff on these games. So having that much under money on this and it going, let me go back to my totals here, juicing towards the over, it makes me feel like I have to bet the over in this game. I like Freddie Peralta. I think he pitches well here, but my concern is, again, you guys talked about back-to-backs. Seeing him again, seeing Boyd again, I think the offense is starting to come through here a little bit more. And obviously, they've seen the bullpen arms plenty at this point as well. So it's definitely a case of early in the series, give me the unders. The later we get, I start leaning more and more towards overs. So I think my official play in this game will be the over. Again, just 92% of the, or 90% of the bets, 82% of the money on the under in this game. And I'll say one more time, this site I'm looking at says 6.5, but I'll really trade it as a 7 minus 115 to the over. It's now 8 or 7, I should say, minus 118 to the over when I mean 8 there. So the fact that it hasn't moved down, the fact that the juice is going up there, I think this is an over. So it'll be over in this game for me officially.
And you are going to move on it.
Yeah, I'm logging into my site right now as we speak.
Okay. We have an over here from Wesley Snips. Let's get this set up here, and we're going to get into college football. I'm excited about these 4 college football games, so let's get ready to attack.
I am too. Minus 118 for the over for me. Over 7.
Over 7 and minus 118 for young Snips. All right.
By the way, I'm coming. I've officially decided I'm coming for the crown of college football on this show at some point this year. I'm coming for the crown.
Well, as I said, I'm tabulating records, and they don't look good.
I'm coming.
Well, let's get to work here, and let's watch you work. Do you have... Oh,
I didn't know this, Justin.
This is the first time I've laughed in like 2 days. Okay. Let's get to work in college football. Now, do you have, are you tweeting out official action in college football?
Yeah, I will. Yeah. When we get to like my best bets portions, I guess I gladly will. I haven't tweeted out any action for this college football slate because I haven't made any bets because, like I said, I want to make some action with you guys. But there's quite a few. I texted you like my whole list of like, okay, I'm probably going to be betting on these games here, and it's all market based. Like, I don't give a shit about the X's and O's. Like, there's some market spots in college football that I bet every week quietly and have been doing kind of well. So.
Well, let's get into college football. But before we do, let's answer our guy Ken Mizrahi. So we have 2 ways of telling you it's 57 Fahrenheit. It feels like 52, and it's 6.1 miles per hour right to left. And then it starts getting a little heavier, and it starts blowing out. And then Ballpark Pal has the Cubbies game minus 21% overall, minus 22% home runs, minus 12% doubles and triples, and minus 8% singles. So, Jose, let's get to work. I spent time on these games, and I want to make some money. And obviously, my record would indicate that you should not listen to me. But it's early. It is early.
Very.
And it's not that early. It's not that early. It's not very early. But I have time. That's why I said I have time. Let's dig in and let's fucking attack, Jose. Take it away.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm too goofy for Jimmy. I start getting Jimmy off of his seriousness. We gotta
nice. I mean, just fucking
jab a little bit. By the way, Mark A. I haven't thought about this. I really do need a Snips license plate. Getting Snips as a license plate would be fucking hilarious. I don't even know how to get a custom license plate. I might have to start researching this. Mark A.
Oh man, Helga will not let you do that.
She'd be like, "What the fuck does Snips mean?"
So angry. She would be livid.
Imagine if she had to take my car.
Oh man!
Oh god! Nice. If she ever had to take my car somewhere, it's like, "What's your license plate? Snips."
Oh,
Nasty Nate will pay for it. I'm consider me immediately interested. Immediately interested. I mean, that would be great. Mark
what
A.
a good friend. What a good friend he is.
Oh, okay. Nate, I might need that. Yeah, Nate. We can talk offline to officially hammer this out. I'll give you my VIN number.
Friend.
I'll give you my VIN number, and we can figure this shit out together. But let's talk Louisiana Tech, Kennesaw State, who of the Conference USA, former rivals of UTSA here. It's so weird having all these conferences be fucked up, and maybe I'll never learn them again. But here we are on these on these teams, I should say. Let's talk about the markets in this game because you guys know that's what I care about the most here. Right now, we have 77% of the bets and 61% of the money on the La Tech here. But shockingly enough, Jimmy, and it seems like we will see. I will be definitely a barometer of how these reverse line movement market spots work in college football because I kind of only want to bet these spots, and there's such a big You know, a lot of games. You can find quite a few of these on a week here. We opened up at a 6.5 here. It even got to a 7 on the 5th of this week here. Goes up to a 6.5, comes back down to a 6, and we are now looking at 5.5 here for La Tech, minus 107 at BOL. And just to reiterate, 77% of the bets and 61% of the money on La Tech here. As for the total, split ticket-wise, 55% of the bets on the under, but 95% of said money is on the under in this game here. I'm going to flip from MLB totals here to college football totals so I can tell you guys exactly where this has gone here. Interestingly enough, BOL here again, leading the pack, had a 45.5 opener, now up to a 46.5 here. Bodog, Bookmaker, the Anonymous Gambler's Place, and Heritage all at 46 or 46.5 here as well. So market is indicating that Kennesaw State is live here, maybe even an over in this game. Jimmy, what'd you think?
Well, there was just okay. God, you know what there was just a massive move to Kennesaw State and a very, very sharp book, and it's not moved across the marketplace.
How far are we talking? Like 4.5, 5s?
4.5.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I've got to bet that now. Yeah.
Yeah, and so do I, because I have the X's and O's. I just want to get this in here.
I'm glad that you can provide the X's and O's here because, like I said, the market is indeed, to me, screaming Kennesaw State here. Plus 5.5. I admittedly want to take the money line plus 170. Shout out to Troy, who we've talked about dogs, the cash cow spot. Typically, I think it's like 7.5. And if you cross that and go under 6.5, 6, you're a great spot. Troy, I believe, is watching. She'll have to clean me up there. But, I mean, 6.5 down to 5.5 down to 4.5 makes me feel like they're live.
Yes, and I've got both the 5.5 and the 6. Now, the 6 is minus 132, but I've got them both set up to send to my local at 3.6 from
little
3.6.
double up action?
No, I just got to decide after we break it down together which one I should move on. I just want to see.
Some people would say you eat the juice there, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, no, you're the only one that would say that.
Next time someone says eat the juice, I'm going to pop in the screen like a bandit, and I can't wait.
Just to write them off as an individual. That's all. just to ensure that you never listen to anything that they say again. Okay, let's get to work here in this one. We are at Fifth Third Stadium in Kennesaw, Georgia, where the Kennesaw State Owls have blown our mind this year. They've been so much better than anybody could have expected. Let's get the weather here at Fifth Third in Kennesaw, Georgia here. Let's get the Kennesaw weather here. It's supposed to be nice, but I haven't seen if there's any wind here. At game time, it's perfect weather, 65 Fahrenheit, 8 miles per hour winds. It's absolutely beautiful. This is a wonderful situation, I think. So let me tell you why I think we should move on the Kennesaw State Owls. The Bulldogs beat them 33-0 last year. Now, that was at home. That was at La Tech. They destroyed them. We have both teams coming off bye weeks. Both teams riding 3-game winning streaks. La Tech comes in off beating 30-11 victory at UTEP. It's 3.5-point favorites. But what happened in that game? Well, La Tech had 5 interceptions and returned 2 of them for touchdowns. Now, they have a ball hawking defense, but obviously some luck went their way. I want to fade teams off of enjoying 5 interceptions. Now, I didn't even write down the stats for how many interceptions they have this year and how they're at the top of Conference USA, because I do think that, yes, they have a ball hawking defense. Yes, they have a very strong defense, but so much luck is involved in that. Their defense has been excellent. It's Luke Olson's group. They're limiting opponents right now to 13.6 points per game. It's very impressive. They're ranked 12th nationally in defensive success rate. And what happened on September 27th against UTEP? Well, They lost their best linebacker, Colby Fields, for the season. So, yes, this defense is coming off a spectacular performance in a series of them, allowing 4.88 yards per snap. But regression, my friend, regression is coming.
She comes for us all. That's silly minx.
Now, look, Sonny Cumbie has done an incredible job. LECHE was falling apart. He was the reason people thought he should be fired. They're 11-26 under him. But he stepped up and he's put together a very good team. And I think that you can thank Luke Olson for that. Their offensive coordinator, Tony Franklin, this offense, I don't want to say it's weak. It's very, very weak. They play clean ball. That's about all you can say. Well, what can you say about Blake Baker? He's not very good. Kennesaw State comes in off their third straight win, 24-16 at home over Middle Tennessee as 7.5-point favorites. All three wins have come at home, but that's where they are. They're coming off a 2-10 season. And look what Jerry Mack has done with this team. Now, Spooner says, I don't think the 6 is worth paying for. It's not a key number. I agree. It just, in overtime, the 6 has come in handy, very handy for pushes. But I agree. That's a fluky situation. So,
do you think his friends call him Sun Cum?
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course they do. Yeah.
Old Sun Cum.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, of course.
Okay. Fair enough.
Jizz Shine as well. Amari Odom is their new quarterback, and he's changed everything. He has given the playmakers a chance to make plays. So since Odom has taken over, they're rolling, and he's a dual threat. Line's 4.5 now. I've got the 5.5 right now. I'm betting this. I've got it set up here. I'm betting this at 365. I know it's moving in other books. I'm gonna drop. I'll drop the 6. -132 is too much. So I'm cutting the 6. I'm sending in the 5. Let me just see what number this tweet is. Sorry, this email is. Let me just do this very quick. But you can jump into our next spot. I'm moving on. Kennesaw State. Okay, it's E4. E4 entry 4. Okay, I'm getting this in. You can set up.
Sure. I can only think of my man Sun Cum now. Hope he has maybe a non-plus day. Old Sun Cum. Tulane ECU. Little America.
Oh, you know what? Let me just get the. Should we? I wouldn't mind talking about this total. Okay, I've got the bet in. I'll put it out on X later. I wouldn't mind talking about this total here. If we could just switch back for a second. So,
yeah, I lean over again, market spot again, sort of.
Well, let's just touch on it here because the only defense. Okay, look, La Tech has a better defense than Kennesaw State, but I think Kennesaw State can move the ball much easier than La Tech. So, who is going to dictate pace? Probably Odom at home, even though La Tech is the vividness bias, the stronger team. So then we go to the cash flow once again, and we have 58% of tickets and 92% of cash on the under. That's a lot of money on the under for it not to be moving towards the under. That's a ton of money on the under. And it initially went to the under, 45.5 down to 44.5, and now it's all the way up to 46.5. Okay, I'll think about the total on my own time. I would prefer not to bet totals in college football at all. I think that my ROI is much higher on sides. I'll just leave it at that in college football. So, okay, that's enough. You think you may move on the under? The over.
I adhere to your logic as well. I'd rather just bet the sides and keep it clean in college football.
Keep it clean. Yeah, I feel like that to be able to deliver with these totals takes an enormous depth of knowledge within a model, and it's tricky. DC Capper got Kennesaw State +6.5. Nice job. Okay, let's roll on to our next spot on the board. Pirates, Green Wave, head over to Yulman Stadium in New Orleans.
Yeah, Yulman Stadium here. An expensive ticket, by the way, Jimmy. $45 to get into this bitch to watch the 4-1 Tulane Green Waves versus the 3-2 ECU Pirates, both 1-0 in the American Conference. And by the way, the mighty American Conference. Market in this game, let's talk about it. Wow, this is surprising. 68% of the bets, 75% of the money on ECU here. Pretty popular 6.5 point dog here. Surprised that. 52% of the bets on the over, 80% of the money on the over here as well. Expecting a lot of points. Are some sharp bettors in this game here. We have a 6.5 opener. Line hasn't really moved much. It opened up at 140, and then it gets up to 7 at 2:30 on the 5th there. So sometime there at that 6.5. Gets up to the 7 and then drops down to 6.5 again here yesterday. Opened up at 6.5 minus 115 to Tulane. It is now minus 112 to ECU there. So the line not really moving too much. A flip of the juice there, yes, but not enough to get me on either side personally. And for the total here, 53 right now. I'm seeing at one point in this week, it got up to a 55, but again, I think that's just a misprint if I'm being honest. 53.5, it got down to 52.5, and we're now backed up to 53. So all that being said, basically a 5-cent move towards the over here. So not much for me in this game. The market really not speaking to me too much, but I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this mighty conference, the American.
Well, we have the dreaded public dog. East Carolina, public dog. We have Ronnie Lofton on Tulane minus 6.5. Both teams coming off their bye week.
And don't worry, one of the Earls, Tim Earl, in here saying, leave the points at the door. Just take ECU money line.
What up? But nice to see him. Nice to see
Leave them at the door. You won't need them.
Yes, Redman. Let me copy and paste that. We're going to get through college football, but we're going to go over all the hockey action that we talked about early in the show. And yes, I have future action, and I think I might be adding. I'm very interested in adding a future. I think I
college football.
No, in NHL, adding a future here. Ron Crawford, Tulane. So Ron Crawford on Tulane, Ronnie Lofton on Tulane, the Eldorado custodian leaning Tulane. Wager Tech talking about Retzlaff, only 2 touchdown passes, but 7 rushing TDs. I wouldn't. Oh, you mean if I was looking for plus money, Dom play. If I was looking for plus money, I would take it down to 3.5. If you're going to get rewarded for that.
I wonder what that line would be. But yeah, I agree with that.
So East Carolina bounced back from their 30. Oh, the weather's really nice tonight. No issues. It gets windier later after the game. We have East Carolina bouncing back from their 34-13 loss to BYU as 5.5 point dogs. They bounce back. They come back home. 28-6 win over Army is 3.5 point favorites. It probably looks better than the score indicates. Caden Hauser, looked good, and he needed to, because against BYU, he threw 2 interceptions. One was returned for a pick 6. A lot went wrong, and then he showed out. They were up 21-0 after the first quarter, and they just coasted home. Tulane's coming off a nice bounce-back performance. They lose 45-10 at Ole Miss in Week 4 as 11.5 point dogs, but they followed up with a 31-14 victory at Tulsa as 14.5 point favorite. So, it's working. Whatever, John Sumrall, it's working. They bring in Jake Retzlaff, and he's fit right in. But, Wager Tech saying he's not getting a ton of touchdowns through the air. So, it's interesting. I've never heard anybody say that before. MJ Falls saying that in his opinion, the market doesn't matter at all in college. I've never
we're gonna find out.
It's the first time I've ever heard anyone say that it doesn't matter at all. That's interesting, MJ Falls, in respect, man. I mean,
Cap does really well going up against it all the time.
Yeah, no, it's you trust the Cap and trust the X's and O's, and so here I think that unfortunately, I don't want the public dog in East Carolina. I think this, the last time we saw Tulane at home was a while ago. They lose at Ole Miss, and then they beat up on Tulsa. So I expect after those 2 weeks, 2 road games, one you get destroyed, one you beat a terrible football team, that they're probably a little undervalued in the marketplace. And I would expect the thought to be based around how bad they looked at Ole Miss, because that was sort of a public spot. And I didn't think this coming in at all. But now I am thinking that with the public being so heavy on East Carolina, the number, sure, it came back from the 7 back to a 6.5, but we're talking, $3 of every $4 coming in on East Carolina, that it should probably be Tulane. And then in this situation, when you're concerned about Caton Hauser late, you're concerned about this offense in East Carolina being able to maybe get involved late or backdoor situation. Well, then the wonderful thing is you go right to the double result. I think that it's very possible Tulane jumps out of their shoes coming back home off of the bye week. The double result's minus 105. And I think it's right in my wheelhouse here. We have DC Capper moving on East Carolina. I mean, they're certainly popular. Certainly very popular. Tim Earl, this is the odds logic numbers here. East Carolina, 67% of the tickets and 75% of the cash. I mean, I think that we all kind of agree that they are the gold standard in the industry. But I will take a look at a site that I just stopped paying attention to, but I still paid for the year, and that's Action. So why don't we just take a quick look at Action Network, and they've got East Carolina, 69% of tickets, 73% of cash. So both spots that I'm looking at have ECU as a very public situation. Redman, there's a few different books that are giving out double results, and you need them. They've changed my ROI in football. They completely changed my ROI in Canadian football, and they've been very helpful this year in NFL and last year. But I'm only 2 years into the double results. So I'm using 365 for this. The double result's minus 105. And that is the plan. Double result minus 105 on Tulane. And I may move more on it. Possibly move more on it. Let's see. Ron Crawford sending his books that have, wow. So his public betting, again, like, what do you trust? It's crazy. His book has his site has 10% of the money on East Carolina. Oh, that's the money line. Jesus. 27% of the tickets and 29% of the cash. Very, very interesting. Yes, Troy, move on Kennesaw State, I think. Okay, let's roll on, Jose. Let's hit Jacksonville State, Sam Houston State.
Let's, by the way, just for some research purposes, Snips, the way that Mark A spelt it, is available. It is available.
Olga will lose it.
I looked up Snips regular. I was really hoping that would be the available, not available. Snips with the S, not available, with the 1 and the 5. It is available.
Oh, Mark A crushed it. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful work.
Shout out to you, Mark A. The research is being done quietly. Jacksonville State versus Sam Houston here. Let's again start off with the market here. Jacksonville State, 54% of the bets and 77% of the money in their direction here. So, I wouldn't call it, as public of a, favorite as the last game we just talked about, but definitely some bigger bets on them here. 63% of the money on the over, 53% of the bets on the under in that game as well. So very fascinating from that standpoint. Now, this is where the X's and O's will come in for a handy for our guy Jimmy, because this line opened up at a 9. 9 this opened up, and we're all the way down to a 7 here for Jacksonville State, making me feel obviously like Sam Houston is live here. Even Bookmaker has the 6.5 right now as well. So again, just tumbling in the face of, where are we again? 54% of the bets and 77% of the money on Sam Houston here. So, on Jacksonville. So it seems like Sam Houston is again the side here for me. We'll talk about that more shortly. As for the total, I'm seeing no movement at BOL. 54 and a half here. Got up to 55 and a half and has come down again to 54. So interesting there. For example, we'll use Heritage here. It opened up at 55 and a half. It is down to 54 and a half. And where the anonymous gambler does his trade, 55 and a half down to 54 and a half. So very interesting. Probably more of 55 to 54 move there. And like I said, there is 53% of the bets on the under and 63% of the money on the over. Jimmy, what do you think?
I think it's such a fun game to break down. Such a fun game. T-Mac, we're going to talk about that game next. And DC Cap Race is Bookie Buster play of the day on Southern Miss. JW on Sam Houston State here. It's a pretty interesting situation. Jacksonville State comes in off their bye week, and we just saw Sam Houston last Thursday. So a rest advantage for the Gamecocks, 2-3, 1-0 Conference USA. So they were last seen suffering their second straight loss, 42-25 at Southern Miss as 5.5-point dogs. What have we seen from Jacksonville State this year? Well, they've lost all 3 of their road games, and they have a quarterback issue. Gavin Wimsatt was benched against Southern Miss, and in came Caden Creel, finished the game. And, they've both been really bad. They run the ball nonstop. So, again, if a team, there are only 4 teams in FBS that run at a higher rate than the Gamecocks. So, of course, the next step is how much do you trust the Bearcat run defense? And if the Bearcat run defense was coming off a bye, I mean, maybe they would have more time to plan and prepare. Nobody thought Sam Houston would be this bad this year. Wimsatt is the older one. Creel's a freshman. And the issue with Sam Houston State is their pass defense is horrific. It's not their rush defense, but you could just say their defense is horrific, and that would be completely legitimate. Play of the day is Vegas in regulation for Ronnie Crawford. Ronnie, thank you so much for sending that, my man. Respect, copied and pasted. So thank you. Let's move over here. Get this in. Thank you, Ron. So Jacksonville State running only 4 teams in the country running more than them. So they're running for 261.4 yards per game. And it's all Cam Cook. Cam Cook, you guys may remember from TCU, the TCU transfer. He's been an absolute beast. And he'll be one again here. Sam Houston came off their bye week, and they suffered their 5th straight double-digit loss to start the season, 37-10. That was at New Mexico. So they went to New Mexico, and they were favorites in this game. Not only just 1.5-point favorites, but the market had them as favorites, and they lose 37-10. Who predicted that beautifully? Not Flush Allen. He had the New Mexico team total over, and he cashed that very easily. So, when we talk about Jacksonville State not winning a game on the road, you can say that these last 3 losses that were horrific for Sam Houston State were all on the road. So it's been a while since they come home. So here they come home. There's only 2 other teams in the entire FBS that haven't won a game yet. And Sam Houston State has a point differential that is absolutely horrific. 26.6 points. They're a game. Not overall in the season. They're scoring 15 points per game and allowing 41.6. But these are both bad defenses. The Bearcats have the worst third down defense in the entire league. They're so bad. They're so bad offensively on third down, and they're so bad defensively on third down. If they are statistically this horrific, then why were they favorites in New Mexico? Could the books be this wrong about them? Or they're coming home and they're going to be better, and maybe the books and the numbers, the preseason expectations. I know we knew they were going to be much worse than last year, but not this bad. We know Jacksonville State is not good on the road. Can we hope that they can just fill the box? And that's what they'll do, and dare Wimsat or Caden Creel to beat them, which is what I think will happen, which makes me think that Sam Houston can be in this football game and they can cover this number. What would this number have been if they didn't lose 37-10 in New Mexico? Now, are they just done? Are they just done? Every gambler watching Sam Houston State is going to think they're absolute trash. And here, the sharpest book amongst all of these has moved it to 6.5. So I want Sam Houston here. But they're a really bad football team. And I'm going to have to sit after the show and decide if I can actually bet them. But I think I can. But they're a horrific team. So that's the situation. I lean Sam Houston. I think I bet them. Now, these defenses are so bad. Why does this game not go over? The initial move on this line was towards the over. I don't see how points aren't going to be scored. I think there's going to be a ton of points scored in this game. The 54.5 immediately moved up, so the immediate kind of sharp action was on it. And I find it quite appealing. When we get to the cash flow, you have most of the tickets on the under, but the cash on the over. DC on the over. I think, I hear you, Justin. They embarrassed me. They embarrassed me badly against New Mexico. We have Fat Wally moving at Belmont at the Aqueduct. Go get it, Wally.
Big A.
Oh, Wager Detective on the under 54.5. Interesting. Jose Perez says they're begging for Sam Houston money and laughing. See, if they were begging for Sam Houston money, this line would have gone to plus 11, right? Open at 9. If they want you to bet it, they make it more appealing. They don't make it shittier.
Yeah,
now,
I'm on Sam Houston.
You could say the opening line made it. The opening line is the key, Jose, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, I moved on Sam Houston plus 7, minus 110.
Yes, Todd Clinton. My best bet right now is the Rangers first period. But we're going to go over all the NHL here in a second. I think I want the over too. Because the over almost honestly feels like I guess it'd be more of a hedge if you took Sam Houston plus the points and Jacksonville State's team total over, but I'm definitely not going to do that. And I don't want to double down on Sam Houston team total over and points. But yeah, I think the over is the bet here. And you can explain why it's so low, right? I mean, look at how many points Sam Houston's been. So let me just give me 30 more seconds on this, and then we'll move past that. I just want to go over how many points we've seen. We know they put up 10 last game, and so that went under. Now, if you had the New Mexico team total over like Nutflush Allen did, then you got cashed. So give me 1 second here. Let's just move over to here. And we only have one game left on today's show. So here we go. So then we go through the last game. So in the last 3 games, Sam Houston has scored 30 points combined. But they've only had one home game all year. In that game against UNLV was coming off being embarrassed by, what was it, North Dakota State or South Dakota State, a FCS school. And they took it to Sam Houston. And that total was 62.5. And it didn't get there because Sam Houston's not scoring. Do we expect them? Look, I think that if you have a team that scored 30 points in the last 3 games combined, all on the road, they're coming back home, or they've only played once against a very, very angry UNLV team. This all sets up for me. I'm going to be on Sam Houston and the full game over.
Let's go Bearcats.
Let's roll.
Let's roll indeed into our last game of the day here. We've got the mighty Georgia Southern versus Southern Miss here. Home of Frank Gore Jr., by the way.
Oh,
Shout
yeah.
out to him.
Good call. Got his poster downstairs.
Yeah, well, Frank Gore Jr. fucking gave me a heart attack at UTSA because I thought he was single-handedly going to beat UTSA as the quarterback of the Southern Miss Golden Eagles there. So that was hilarious to see that game. Let's go to the market in this game. 59% of the bets. Do you have a Frank Gore poster, by the way?
Oh, it's gorgeous. It was a gift. It was a gift from Bebsy, and it was made by an artist too. It's
Okay.
It's spectacular.
Okay. I thought it was like one of the posters that everyone had on their wall, except for me, by the way. My parents would never let me have things on the wall because that would fuck up their walls. But I just not a poster guy. So shout out to Bebsy and shout out to that poster. 59% of the bets and 72% of the money on Southern Miss here. 3.5 point favorites here. We have 51% of the bets on the over, 79% of the money on the over here again. Opener right now, I'm seeing BOL have this at 2.5. Went up to 3 and then 3.5. Let me refresh real quick because I'm seeing 3.5 on the 7th here. And it even got down to a 3 actually on the 8th and is stuck at that 3 there. Another book for comparison, just using Heritage here. Kind of the same deal, 2.5 on the 5th and got to a 3, 3.5 for a little bit. Came right back down to a 3. It is now 3 still here. So that's fascinating there. And just to reiterate one more time, we have 59% of the bets and 72% of the money on Southern Miss. So probably not enough to get me on a side here. Totals wise, BOL opened this up at a 60.5 here. Went down to 59.5 and is now down to a 59 as of 10:30 this morning here. Again, kind of the same situation on another book here, 60.5. Goes down to a 60, comes back up, gets down to 58.5, but is now at 59.5. In the market there again for you guys here, it is 50% of the bets kind of each way, 51% of the bets on the over, 79% of the money on the over in this game too. So tough game for me to try to parse market wise. I guess it would be a lean towards Southern Miss, but nothing more for me here. Jimmy, what do you think?
This is a very difficult game that I might be able to find a bet here at the end. DC Capper, Bookie Buster play today is Southern Miss. And yeah, 49ers Gore. Yeah, 49ers Gore. So we're at Allen E. Paulson Stadium in Statesboro, Georgia. Let's just take a look at the wind here very quickly. I meant to have all that done, and I didn't. Take a look at the weather. Here we have, it's windy right now. It stays pretty windy. 11 miles per hour. It's not too much. So let's roll. Allen E. Paulson Stadium. So both teams coming up their bye week. Southern Miss bounced back from their 30-20 loss at LECHE as 3.5-point dogs by beating up on Jacksonville State at home, 42-25. You know, no one is expecting Sam Houston to put up 42 points. And we don't need, if we get to 27, you know, we hit the over and we cover, I assume. If we get to 24 points, we should hit the over and cover, but it'll be tight on both. But this team just, you know, laid it. Southern Miss laid it on Jacksonville State, put up 42 points. And this is another team, sort of like Kennesaw State, that was so bad last year. Or even like LECHE, some of these teams that were so bad. The Golden Eagles are one of the stories of the conference under Charles Huff, first-year coach. 3-2 after going 1-11 last year. So the first thing he did was he brings in Braxton from Marshall, and that was huge. Of course, Huff won the Sun Belt title with him with Marshall last year, and he was very, very good. That Marshall team was putting up 31.8 points per game, and he looks really good here. 1,236 yards, 11 touchdowns. He's a dual threat. He's a senior. He's in control. and he's turned this offense into the second best offense, total offense in all of the Sun Belt, and the defense is being strong as well. They're playing much better than any of us expected. Now they're getting gashed on the ground. So the question, of course, is, can Georgia Southern gash them on the ground? That's the big key. But this pass rush is strong, and their secondary is strong. It's their yards per play is low. It's just that they get hurt on the ground. Now we have Georgia Southern. So at this point, the cap is easy. Southern Miss is a really good team. Now maybe we're late to the party. Everybody got paid off of them earlier, or so that's possible. Georgia Southern is the tricky part here because they're 2-0 at home, but only one of those wins was against an FBS opponent. They defeated Jacksonville State at home in week 3. So, Georgia Southern puts up 41 points against Jacksonville State. Southern Miss puts up 42. Where was it? 45? They put up 42. Why can't Sam Houston put up 27? I really think they can. So Georgia Southern was so close to the Sun Belt Championship last year, and everybody expected that this team run by Clay Helton was going to be good again this year. And he thought they were going to be good, and that's not being the case. But at home, they're good, and they've always been good under Clay Helton. And that's the problem, because it's not a good football team. It was expected to be good, and they're not good. But at home, they're much, much better than they are on the road. So what's the problem with Georgia Southern is their defense is horrific. I mean, this is a team giving up 37.4 points a game. And we talked about Southern Miss getting gashed on the road. The same thing with Georgia Southern. They get destroyed. Sorry, on the ground, not on the road, on the ground. They're allowing, the Georgia Southern Eagles are allowing 262 yards a game on the ground.
Good God.
It's horrible. So they put up a ton of points. We just talked about what they did at Jacksonville State. Who cares what they did to Maine? And then they go to James Madison before their bye week, and they put up 10 points. But that's on the road. And the expectation, J.C. French, O.J. Arnold, is that, by the way, though, Josh Dallas is still out. He was expected to be a top wide receiver. He's not coming back here. He's going to miss his 4th straight game. So I don't see how they're not a ton of points in this football game. Like, just a ton of points. I completely understand DC Capper's confidence on Southern Miss. Obviously, if this stayed at 3.5, I would probably find it more appealing. Opening up at 2.5, going quickly to 3, then to 3.5. But I can't sell, and I wonder what Justin McKelvey thinks of this spot, because I can't sell Georgia Southern too lightly at home. But it feels like Southern Miss is the sharp side, and it feels like this total is so high for a reason. So is this another Southern Miss and the over bet? The total here is just dropped. Wow, that was this morning. Dropped down to 59. So what are the books that have it still at 60? None of the sharp books do. And so maybe that is all predicated on the fact that they're going to be running the ball, and the clock is going to be ticking. Huh. So this defense is so bad. Justin says, love Georgia Southern, but not today. No action for me yet, but looking at the over. So, let's go to a very sharp book and see what they're doing with this total. Yeah, they still have it at 60. Yeah, I mean, these teams are just going to be able to put up points at will. But Southern Miss is so much better. So then the very final thing here is, let's just go again over Southern Miss's road games, and only their road games. Then decisions will be made. Oh, sorry. Here, move over here. So we'll go over their road games, and then we'll put a bow on the show here, and I will get the action in. So Southern Miss playing their second Sun Belt game, and they played one road game. They played one road game, and they got shut down by LECHE. You know, I'm not. That's a very high number for a reason. I don't know what to do quite with the over. I'm gonna have to. I can't just say yes. I'm gonna bet it now. It's probably a very sharp line, and we've only seen Southern Miss once on the road. That's why I think I might not even back Southern Miss. I mean, doesn't the team have to prove themselves on the road here? Now, LaTeX defense is very good. Let's just take a look at that game, the one road game they played this year at LaTeX. They were 3.5-point dogs. They lose by 10. They still Braxton put up 392 yards passing, but they couldn't move the ball at all on the ground against LaTeX. Wow, they outgained LaTeX 514 to 339. How did they lose this game? They had 28 first downs compared to LaTeX 14. They were 7-17 on third down. I guess 0-2 on fourth. How did they lose this? They fell apart late? No, because they what the hell happened? They only turned the ball over once. 514 yards against LaTeX means they'll put up a ton of yards here. The over's got to be the bet, doesn't it? Okay, so I agree that Southern Miss is a better football team. So, and then I think we just kind of proved it. I've got to study exactly what went wrong for them in this one. I mean, to get that many. When's the last time you saw a team with 500 yards plus only put up 20 points? They only had 10 points. They went into the fourth quarter with only 13 points. They only punted twice. Wow. So I think that Southern Miss is just clearly better than Georgia Southern and probably should be bet. And the over should probably be bet as well. So that's my plan. I've already bet. So the review action in college football, and then we'll hear if Jose's moving on. Oh, he's moved on to a few of these spots too. So, and he's going to tweet them out and make them official. The Kennesaw State Owls, I want, and I'm interested in the over, but I bet Kennesaw State at 5.5. I could have got the 6 at -132. And then I'm on Tulane double result. I haven't bet that yet, but it's got it set up here in the queue. And then Sam Houston and the over. And I think it's Southern Miss. It's got to be Southern Miss and the over. It has to be. Because if anybody's using the statistical analysis of their only road game and says, well, they only put up 20 points on the road, how can we trust them to put up points? They're not fully looking at how many yards they put up. They 2 fourth down conversions don't go their way. I imagine it's very different if it wasn't the case. So, okay, Jose, what are you making official here in college football? You are muted, my man.
I'm muted. There we go. I bet officially Kennesaw State plus 5.5 -110, and Sam Houston State plus 7 at -110 as well.
I like it. I don't like being on overs on the 2 late games. It feels, but I think we get there. I think we get there on both. So the issue being is that we know that Southern Miss and Georgia Southern are just going to run the ball nonstop, but tire out defenses, points can still be scored. You break a couple open. So we are in business.
So if I have action, like college football action, should I tell you now? Or should I tell you later?
Well, it depends if you're locking in lines.
I'll lock in this line to make it official. Sure.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Just so I can make it official, because I think this is a rat line, as our friend Dennis Garcia would say.
All right, let's hear it.
So biggest game of the weekend, I think, in a game that everyone's talking about, at least down here, Red River rivalry, a difficult word to say. Oklahoma versus Texas. Just a general, and I think everyone kind of done this. Is not like a big surprise secret thing, but whenever there's an unranked team favored against a ranked team, it's just to close my eyes and bet that almost every time. I'll make exceptions when the team's like 25th in the 20s. There it gets a little, dicey, but like top 15 and up, I'll bet against them every time, and I'll feel good about the results either way. This Texas team has been shit on since the moment they stepped on the field. The fact that they were opened up as a favorite in this game is astonishing to me. Even with Mike Hawk, who is going to be the quarterback for you're looking at me, Jimmy, with that. When I said that, you seemed shocked there.
I didn't know your cock played.
No, Mike Hawk does play. Shout out to Mike Hawkins Jr. As well. Mike Hawk is a quarterback from Oklahoma State, or from Oklahoma, I should say. And the fact that the Texas opened up as a favorite here is crazy. All you'll see down here, Jimmy, is Texas fucking sucks. They're not gonna do shit. Arch Manning is fucking terrible. Bench his ass. Her. And again, they opened up as a favorite here, and it is just baffling to me. I was one of the people that bet Florida against Texas yet last week because I think they suck. But I'm going to listen to my market overlords here, and I will be betting Texas here. I understand that earlier this week they were -3, and the fact that now they're -1.5, maybe that should scare me. But again, the fact that it opened up as Texas being the favorite is just appalling.
Do you know the look ahead line for this?
Yeah, I see 9.5 Texas.
Yeah,
I mean, of course they didn't know jack shit. They thought Arch Manning was going to win the goddamn Heisman, and they didn't know that John Mateer was going to be a decent quarterback. So I'm not shocked by that. I'm not worried about that at all. So I'll take Texas money line here, -115 for me. Just appalling. Like X's and O's wise, this should be Oklahoma by 40 points plus. And the fact that Texas is favored here, just dumbfounding. Can't believe it.
And sorry, when we look at the,
and I expect, I don't really care who plays quarterback here. Mateer, he comes back from a broken hand. It's his offhand, I believe. I don't give a fuck. Let him come back. First game back. Let him go into that environment. Or if it's Mike Hawk, he sucks. So I'll take it.
Oh, it's exciting. Okay. What are you getting Texas money line at?
-115.
All right. You are in business. Anything else you want to make official?
No, we'll just stick there. I think that's the best one. And again, I just couldn't believe it. But yeah, generally, if you guys see an unranked team favored against a ranked team in their top 15, you'll probably see me talking on this program.
They didn't open -3 when it reemerged on Sunday at 2:11 p.m. They opened -2.5, but it was juiced to them. It became a 3 6 hours later. It lasted as a 3 for 12 hours, and then it moved back to 2.5, and now we're at a 1.5. Did go down to a 1. That's exciting. It's exciting. Let's do a review of action here. And it was a fun show. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Happy birthday to Gerald Jones. I'm so wonderful to hear that your father, the surgery went well. It's so wonderful. And then calling you on your birthday, I mean, that's special. I'm very thankful for the fam. Let's talk action here. Justin McKelvey stacks play today. Number 1, Teo Hernandez over 1.5 bases +110. Scatabo anytime touchdown +150. Toby Lane play today. Blackhawks money line play day number 2. Croatia, Czech Republic, both teams to score. Talk sports with JT. AJ Brown under 65.5 receiving yards. Scatabo anytime touchdown. Scatabo over 48.5 rush yards. Buffalo money line. So we're on other opposite sides there. And then he's on Chicago team total under 2.5 -109, which I would love if Swayman was in that. But we'll see. We'll definitely see.
I think the fact that the Bruins are that big of a favorite is shocking to me.
Second half back-to-back beating Washington. I think it's more of a testament on the Blackhawks.
I also was shocked that the Bruins were such big underdogs last night. I thought that I was going to bet the Bruins last night. And then your under bet was great. So shout out to you. I was watching that game thinking about it.
Yeah, it was very good. When Swayman's in that, now we'll see if we can do it without Swayman. But DC Capper, it's exactly why I like it. I don't want to be on the other side of you, but this is why I want it. The public sentiment is that they're the worst. They're only one of 3 teams that haven't won in the FBS. They've scored 30 points over their last 3 games, but they've all come on the road. They've only had 1 home game, and everybody thinks they're absolute trash. The total's very high, yet you think they could only score 17 points. So that would mean that the final score would be 24-17. That's what the market would think if they only score 7. I mean, that's just something I really, really like. And I know you're trying to help, so I don't mean to, but that the sentiment that you have is what the public has, and that's why I'm betting it. I'm trusting the market over the public sentiment, even from sharp cappers like yourself, whom I respect. So, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you're not the only one. I've got your comments about this under Jose Perez's. So obviously I'll be watching them and either saying, God, I should have listened, or I fucking told you. Gorky's play today, Philly to win by 11 plus, a plus 130. Tone is on Phillies to win the World Series, a plus 900. Real Muto over 1.5 bases, a plus 175. Schwarber, Homer, Harper over 1.5 bases, plus 500. Jerry Davis, it's been a tough start, but it's going to change. I mean, we're just not getting. I've lost my first shootout, and I didn't get empty net goals when I had a 6-on-5 with the power play team not having a goaltender for 2 minutes. So it's early, and we fire away. Julian Cesario on the over 40 in Philadelphia and New York, something I kind of like, but he's on the under in Sam Houston, Jackson State. Of course, because look, Sam. I mean. We'll see how this bangs out. Eagles, Dodgers, money line parlay 4. Our guy, Julian Cesario. Irish King, I was talking about yesterday, hit the Leafs, Jays double. Flank steak play of the day is the Golden Knights, minus 1.5. He's also on the Avalanche, minus 1.5. Louisiana Tech on the spread, and Southern Miss on the spread.
When you say flank steak, I always expect one of my plays to come out.
Yeah, but he named it after you.
Yeah, no, shout out to him. I just think it's about to be one of mine. I'm like, oh, that's not me. Yeah.
Jimmy the Bag, this is a message to me from Fap Win. He says, a horse to bet on faster than a wind sprinting Mark Sanchez.
Wow, fuck you, Fap.
Australian racing Saturday. It's our Friday night. It's Murray Bridge race 5, and it is the 10 My Zephyr. It's a 7-1 spot. I'll pop this in the chat. We got Brandon Cummings moving on the Panthers first period alt puck line. We have Spooner jumping on with Kennesaw State with us. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun night. So in NHL, here we go. Bobano's on the Blackhawks plus 150. I'm on the Rangers first period and Rangers full game, and I like the Rangers first period money line is the best bet on the board. I really like it. Bobano on the first period over 1.5 and the full game over 6. And he'll be moving on those anytime a team's being shut out. And for the first 3 months of the year, it worked beautifully, and then it stopped. But, we'll be keeping a very close eye on it. And it worked overall, but it was destroying in the first 3 months of the year. So we'll see if that trend continues, that it's maybe an earlier first half of the season bet. Maybe the second half of the season, those teams that aren't scoring have real difficulty scoring, but we'll see. I'm on the Canadiens first period plus 110. Bobano is as well, but he's also on the full game. Ottawa, Tampa Bay, we stayed off. Bobano's on the Flyers. I wanted to talk this out. I'm going to be on the Flyers and the Panthers team total under 3.5. Bobano is on the Islanders, Pittsburgh over 5.5. I want to fade Pittsburgh so bad, but I want to fade the Islanders almost as bad now. So I have to stay off that spot, which I didn't want to. I'm on the Hurricanes minus 1. Bobano has the Hurricanes to represent the Eastern Conference Stanley Cup playoffs, but he wasn't betting them game 1. I talked to him about the bullishness I felt on the Hurricanes at this number. I think they should be minus 1 between. If there's a minus 1 under minus 125 for the Hurricanes or the Avalanche at home, they should be bet every single time. Every time, and I guarantee you the ROI is positive. When it gets higher than that, then the implied probability changes, obviously. Bobano's on the over 5.5, Minnesota, St. Louis, and the Blues money line. Bobano's on the Jackets plus 104. I'm going to move on the under in the Stars Winnipeg game is my expectation. A bigger expectation, I know I'm going to bet the Dallas Stars under 104.5 points this year. Then Avalanche minus 1. It's the same story as the Hurricanes minus 1. I'm going to bet them all year at this price. All year. Bobano added, he didn't move on Avalanche minus 1, but he's on Gunther goal plus 236. I'm going to add Calgary first period here. I thought Bobano did bet Calgary first period. I don't have it here. I'm going to have to message him. I'm almost certain. Then Bobano's on the Knights team total over 3.5. He's on the first period over 1.5 in the full game over 6, and he's on the Ducks money line. I'm going to have to message him, so I'll find that out. Bobano on first period ? Okay. And then Bobano is on the Ducks, and I'm joining him. I just needed a little bit of extra courage. And Jerry Davis grabbed Kennesaw +7 early and La Tech under 27 late. Good job, Jerry. Then in the CFL, Bobano's on the Ticats. Ron Crawford, CFL play of the day is the Ticats. I'm very interested in joining. We'll break that down tomorrow. And then, Don Play, I do. I fear the reason why I didn't come to the show on it was because I do fear Georgia Southern at home. So I feel like the hedge is the over. Georgia Southern is going to be able to put up points. And then the Alouettes team total over 32.5 for Bobano. The Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today in the NHL is Vegas in regulation. Then in the NFL, Bobano is on the Giants +7.5. Justin McKelvey is Eagles -7.5. And for Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today in baseball is the Brewers. Timmy Tushu has Saquon, AJ Brown touchdowns. All of our action from Cappers in the chat that I've copied and pasted, I'll talk about in our live stream. And then Spooner's on the Dodgers -102. Don Play, I'm shocked. I didn't dive deep enough into that one road game they played. I thought maybe they had trouble moving the ball or scoring on the road because they only put up 20 points against La Tech, but they put up over 500 yards. Crazy. And that is our show for today. Jose did move on the over 7. So where is it here? The over 7 in -118 in Brewers Cubs. Is there anything that I'm? Oh, and then of course Jose added Texas money line at the end. Texas -115. Are you going to tweet out your college football then?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I'm bad about tweeting this shit out because of how busy we are. But yes.
Okay, well
yeah.
then you know what? I'll just write it all down here with the lines, just so I don't need to look for it. So you have Texas -115. You have Kennesaw State +5.5 -110, and you have Sam Houston State. Sam
+7,
Houston,
yeah, -110.
Houston +7 and -110. And Luca, it's a split, man. There's a lot of people heavy on the Giants, thinking that it's too many points, and there's a lot of people who think that the Eagles are going to smash and grab after a loss. I'm only on the Eagles double result. Troy's on that as well. So
I'm on Giants +7 for the contest.
Oh wow, okay.
The start of a first 5-0 week from me.
Only 14 people left in Survivor. Whew.
God bless you.
That's a big payday.
It would be nice.
4K.
We're just gonna rename it the Jimmy the Bag Survivor Contest if you win it again.
I lost in the very first game last year, but
Yeah.
2 years ago was a different story. The Bengals got me.
Will they get you again?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
I'm assuming you're on the Packers.
Way to plant that fucking seed.
No problem. The Joe Flacco coming for your neck.
It's possible. It's certainly possible. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Wager Detective, who will be making his NFL Pub debut on Sunday. So will Old E making his NFL Pub. So is AM. We have 3 debuts here. 3 debuts. Thank you guys, Don Play, Luca. Thank you guys, Brandon Cummings. Thank you, my man. Jerry Davis in the house, Spooner, DC Capper, Nasty Nate, Fat Wally, Justin McKelvey, Jose Perez, Jason Meyer, the Eldorado custodian, Crip Key in the house, T-Mac says if Southern were to win, the books would open the line +3. Opening at 2.5 indicates it will be close. That's true. That's very fair. Very fair. Thank you guys for rocking with us. On behalf of everybody here at Pub Sports Radio, Ronnie Crawford, thank you. We do, thank you. Mr. Tomatoes, thank you. Tim Earl, my man Tim Earl, Redman 69, thank you. Thank you so much. Only has access to Vegas books. I'll work on that, Redman. I think there's one that offers it, and I'll message a friend down there here. I think there's one that you can use online, but I'm gonna copy and paste that, Redman, so we can hook you up.
Jimmy, can you hit the button because my computer died on me?
I can, with pleasure. On behalf of all of us at Pub Sports Radio, thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Go out there and get that cash. Give us a leche to send us home, Jose.
Let's fucking go make that money. Nate, I'll be hitting you up about my new license plate, hopefully coming soon, Nate.
Helga's going to hate that so much.
She won't know, and she'll be surprised, and she'll love it. So shout out to her. I have to figure out, by the way, what I'm going to do for her birthday. Her gift idea. She's like, I just want a thoughtful gesture. I said, fuck.
No. Oh, no.
What am I supposed to do? Fuck.
Oh, no.
But we'll figure it all out soon, guys. Let's go make some money tonight, and let's go get Helga's birthday money tonight. And Leche, Los Bookmakers.
Let's go.
From down south, where we ride on flair. From down south, where we ride on flair. From down south, where we ride on flair. From down south, where we ride on flair.
Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, make a bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H. I stack green like Boston, shout out to Nasty Nate. From down south, where we ride on slab. 420 highway smoking with that boy Gabby Cap. Fly out to Denver for the Nugget fans so we can smoke out J Money, cause you know that's our mans. Us against the bookies, put money in our pockets. Fly out to Vegas, meet up with Ski Crockett. Hit the sports books, we got money to stack. Can't forget them college picks with that boy Connor Mack. Call up Dutch boy, cause you know we stay fresh. What's the strain of the day, homie? Watch the daily sesh. Roll up a paper plane, light up a Sparky. If I need a strikeout prop, we gon' holler at Sharpie. Cross over to the West Coast and holler at fam. If we talking NBA, I got to hit Trot Wham. Always tapping in, money's what we trust. If I need a team total, gotta hit Nut Flush, cause I'm Bishop of Bay, smoking straight to the chest. Gotta fly out to the Beta, homie, Moose Money Bets. From bookies to West, cash checks what we do, cause I'm who banging with Boss and the OG Raccoon. If we need it under, I gotta hit Nolly Knowles. If I ladder my prop, I gotta holler Big Show. Now we back to the East Coast for Nicky Fish Tanks. We watching UFC, keeping money in the bank. Die Hard and Danny Betts and the whole damn crew. Nick's the only guy I know can drink a brew by his shoe, but hey, that's what he do. It is what it is. I can't forget that Jersey boy, that homie Billy Briz. If I need an ice pick, I go to Ontario, holler my ice guy, Ian Bobano. And if I need some advice in trying to cash, tune into Peter Loshak and Jimmy the Bag. And hit that like button, make sure that you smash it. The famous words of razor sharp picks, cash it. I'm on my poker shit, stacking my chips. If we ever lose a bet, man, we never gon' trip. Cause I'm Mike Knight M, Pimp Slap Player of the Day. Ron Crawford spreadsheet, what more can you say? It's how we stay paid each and every day. Can't forget about the producer, say hey Jose. Tell your mother, your father, your son and your daughter, cause nothing's going down without the Don Jeff Slaughter. All you low baggers, hold it down in the chat. If you missed all that, the remix will be back. Yeah.